No.
So we have to go back through the application's complete on this one. Is that right?
Yeah.
To
Yeah, we
finish,
got-
finish the application.
Hi, Margaret. You're a church member?
You're a little tight there today.
Yeah.
Your name?
Yes.
Your name put out there. B-O-R-D.
D-E-L.
Paul, did I make the cut last night or I get hacked?
What's that?
I get hacked last night or I make the cut?
You made the cut.
Oh, dang.
They haven't I thought they were gonna accept them last night. I don't know why they didn't, but evidently
Oh.
Ruth wasn't ready. But there's 11 of them there. I've got 2 more to come.
I leaned on Nadeau today.
Oh, good. I'm actually starting to get kind of excited about it, because it's looking like a good group, the comp planning committee.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
The what
Good.
committee?
the comprehensive planning committee.
Oh, good.
I think we're gonna be seating soon. We'll get some kickoff stuff done and kind of get everything formatted and pick officers and bylaws, and then probably take a break for most of the summer, and then start full off with some training and stuff in the spring.
Who's facilitating that? You?
The guy in the hat.
Are you doing that on your own?
I'm winging it. You wanna help?
No.
Please.
I mean,
Tom, come on in. Yeah. I'm gonna have you put on the, as an amendment to the agenda, so they'll make a determination. Okay. Real quick. All right, thanks. Should only take a minute.
this goes with
How you
this.
doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Hi.
We have a war.
Well, that's all right.
I wasn't mad at you.
Okay, good, I'm glad to hear it, but I would have been pretty frustrated if it was me, but,
No, he's working dog.
so I would understand.
I like that.
Well, we're gonna have to bust out the wall.
Right. The rest of this.
Yeah. I guess they don't need a bigger town hall, huh?
We had.
I keep
Years-
expecting
years
that to
ago.
show back up again, the study at least, or I'm waiting for someone to do
Whatever
it.
happened to the plan of it?
It's in the back.
It is in the
Yeah,
back
it's
now?
still here, it's a nice plan. Yeah. What is it about when they plan town halls, they put assessing and codes by the front door?
Quick escape.
Because you're the two that everyone
I think
wants to
anybody
see.
coming in and gun it, you guys are the first ones to go down, and everybody else gets to hide under their desk. I don't know how many town halls I've been in, you go in the door and codes and
Bam.
assessing is right there.
Bam.
Yeah, so,
He's gonna, maybe you can explain it better than I can.
Where are you gonna put him?
when he asks about additions to the agenda, I'm gonna ask to have Tom add it in
Hmm?
for amendments.
Okay.
No, there was no public notice of it.
Yeah, I need the board to make a determination on something is all. It's not an application, I made an interpretation and I want you guys to give me your view on it.
Do we have the authority to do that?
Yeah, yes, you do. The ordinance gives you the authority.
Why did we let that get in there? I don't want to do that.
You're doing.
Well, he has an existing conditional use permit,
Yeah, right.
so. I know you don't want to do it, but neither did I.
Let's just go back and forth.
Thanks,
We
man.
could spend a lot of time doing that.
Can't wait.
To call the meeting to order. The planning board for May 4th, 2016.
Are we being recorded? Thank you.
Guess so. First, we pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. I'd like to welcome our new alternate member, Juliet Kaplinger, to the board. Hopefully, welcome.
Thank you.
Addition to other business. Discussion dates to continue with ordinance review. Why don't we do that later?
I agree to that. I mean, good.
To accept some minutes. All right, we'll do.
Those are part of the amendments, Tom.
Okay. All right. We'll. Okay. We need to accept minutes for the public hearing for January 6th. It was a short one, apparently.
Your name's spelled incorrectly.
Oh, man. Glad you noticed. Twice.
Right, back.
Well, we planted roots.
With the spelling changes, I'll move to approve the minutes.
Yeah. I'll second that. All those in favor?
And what did you say?
I said with the spelling changes, I'll move to approve the minutes.
All right, so we're all set with that. And,
Move the minutes to the end.
yeah, we can. Yep.
Can I add an amendment to the agenda, please?
Yes, we can.
Tom Cushman's here, has an existing conditional use permit for his business on Hollowell Road. The permit, I believe, was issued by the planning board in 2009. As I understand the ordinance, which I'd like you guys to look at, they have, I think it's 18 months to begin the development work necessary for the conditional use, and 3 years after that, a total of 3.5 years to complete the infrastructure work for the conditional use. Tom has been asking to get some fill brought in to continue to work on the parking lot that was under his conditional use permit. And I told him that I thought the board should have to determine whether or not his development part of his conditional use had expired and would have to again come before the board to have this additional work included. So,
So should we add that to the end of the agenda?
what's that?
Should we add that to the end?
I
Of the
don't,
agenda?
wherever you want to put it, but that's basically that's the skinny.
Well, what gives us the authority to extend a permit?
Nothing
this-
without an application, but I wanted you to determine if his if the development of his site has expired. His conditional use hasn't, but his ability to develop his site may have, and if that's the case, then he would have to bring forward an application.
So is this expanding a parking lot or
It's improving the parking lot.
improving? By paving or by,
No paving, just adding fill of gravel to chip things up. It gets muddy in the springtime. The conditional use permit says that I can have a parking lot, says that I can have a wood lay-down storage area. And it's just muddy in the spring. I'm just improving what's already been there.
So it's already there?
been constructed.
So you're not expanding it?
You're not adding to your drive.
Well, it gets a little tricky because the ordinance requires anything over 500 yards of fill to be brought in, has to come before the board, unless it's handled under an existing permit, like a
so
conditional
it's
use
more than
permit.
500 yards of fill?
Yeah, I believe.
If I can add, the conditional use permit says, as long as I'm not changing my course of business, I can continue doing that business.
Yeah, this isn't affecting your business, it's
Yeah.
affecting your
Not
ability
I
to
mean,
develop
I
your
had a
site.
parking lot before for my trucks, and I had a wood lay-down area, just improving that. There was no stipulation of size, or, I mean, it's not getting any bigger, it's just the same size, but just being approved.
We should first decide where we want to handle that on the agenda. We've got folks who've been on the agenda for a while.
Mhm.
Maybe we should handle those first.
Yeah. This isn't, do you feel this is just a cut and dried issue, or?
I just wanted you to make a determination if it's held under his conditional use, or if it needs to, if it's development beyond that, and he needs to come before the board. Because anything over 500 yards is fair game. If that's the case, he has to bring in an application for more fill if it's not held under his, if it's not covered under
There
his.
was no, with my initial application, there was no limit to fill or excavation.
Yeah, it's
Anything
been-
else. There's no area of stipulation, there's nothing like that.
And I did look up under the 2005 ordinance, and the same
Yeah.
restriction was in the 2005 ordinance, so
Where is that in our new ordinance?
I'm looking for it. I had it.
That's where I can't find anything anymore. Not that I could find anything to begin with.
On the timing.
So, page 70. Approval of the conditional use and any building permit issued for the development within the scope of this article shall expire. The work has not commenced within 180 days, which we're all set. And if such work has not been substantially completed within 24 months, sounds like this is substantially completed, right?
Yeah.
Is it just that you
Conditional use.
just never finished the driveway, or
No, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just,
you're just trying to improve it?
just trying to improve it.
Is it gonna be,
On the property and.
is it gonna be more than 500 yards?
Paul, where's
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
language
It'd
that
have to be 1,000 or 1,500, I don't
it
really
would
know.
not need
Yeah.
to come back to us if it's
But,
already
I mean,
covered under
the
an
land has been
existing?
excavated, it's stumped, it's great.
It's on the fill part under the
Fill it up
page 47.
and improve it.
In our chart?
48. So filling and
Not-
earth moving activities not
not
covered
covered
by
by
other
another
permits requires 251 to 500 is the code enforcement. Anything over 500 is the planning board.
Conditional use. How far out are we from the initial approval?
09?
09,
Oh, no.
yeah.
I don't know, this feels like a new improvement.
Without seeing enough of the previous application to see what was in it.
Yeah.
That's my issue. I don't have the paper in front of me. I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like maintenance with that volume of material, unfortunately. I can understand what you're trying to achieve, but.
I can appreciate what you're trying to achieve, but I think, it's been almost 7 years. And,
So it's not actually an amendment to his conditional use, he just come to you guys with an application for fill.
that's
Yeah.
all,
Right.
that's all you need.
Right.
And what's involved with the application?
Just I guess it's just a request
Just
and
an
a
apply-
definition from the board
application.
as to what you're doing, but I'm not sure what else is required. There's no performance standards that are in there.
For, well, I mean, it's a conditional,
Conditional
Yes.
use, that's all.
so, is the fill
Yes.
gonna harm water quality? And, I
Well-
mean, most of the stuff won't apply, but we'll have to go through the exercise
Is this
anyway.
a three meeting, contact all the abutters?
God, I hope not. I mean, you'll have to contact all the abutters. Hopefully, it's a one meeting, and nobody
Mm.
cares about 500 yards of fill in your driveway. And we'll write that down as something to change in the next version of the ordinance.
We should just give that to
Oh, yeah.
code. So, yeah.
So that's only with respect to bringing in from offsite onto the property new fill.
Filling or earth moving
Filling-
activity.
filling
How's
from
that
every place,
defined?
anyway.
We should not be doing this that way.
Can I move earth from one side of the property? another? And the second question would be, a 500-yard stipulation, is that an annual thing, or is that a lifetime thing, or?
I think it's in each time you're gonna hit 500 yards. Because anything under that requires the code officer.
But I don't understand the time restraints. I mean, is it once a month, or is it once a year, or I can only ever bring in
We have a
500
definition
yards
for
lifetime?
this.
More than 500 yards.
I would assume
Neat.
if it's a conditional use permit, it's the fill covered under that particular permit.
Yeah.
So you could give him up to 500 yards.
And I told him
He
that.
could do
I
that
gave
tomorrow.
him permission to pull 500 yards in. Anything over that's your guys. I said he could do the first 500, and I was fine with that.
How many yards are we talking about?
1,500.
Or 15.
Probably 1,500, I would think.
It could be, I mean, yeah, I don't,
Why don't we have a definition?
Grover's got about 10,000 yards to move. They're looking for places to put it,
Right away.
pretty much right away.
Is this, I'm a little confused. Is this about Grover, or is this about?
No, it's about, if
my
this
side
is,
itself?
this is
Yes,
all in
sir.
the ordinance.
It's,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. We're gonna have to have an application to do more than 500 yards.
Yeah,
We could do that next month.
I think it's clarifying the process.
That doesn't
making
help you
sure
this month up to 500 yards. You can do it.
Well, that's fine. I guess I just need a
It's
little.
not defined.
But I would like to know how, I mean, with respect to 500 yards, if that's annually, or,
Well, I guess we probably should put a cap on how many yards.
It would be under the scope of the permit. It would
Yeah.
tell you how much he wants to bring in of over
Yeah.
500 yards.
You tell
and
us what you want to do, and we'll tell you if you can do it.
Yeah, so once the permit.
no, I mean, but,
So I think if you added 500 yards over 5 years, you'd still have to come to us when you're hitting that 500
500.
yard mark, if you want to go over it, or 10 years, or
is that
whatever.
written in the ordinance?
But if you-
I mean, is there
well, there's
someplace
no-
I can read that?
There's no time frame given, so if you're bringing in 500 yards
Okay.
as part of any project or over time, I don't know how else to interpret that.
I don't either.
I
Yeah,
mean, if you told us you were
It
gonna
needs
bring in
work.
2,000, we'll give you the permit for
Yeah.
2,000.
and then you can do the work however long the permit lasts.
We've got to get to.
I know, but we
Yeah,
already started.
Um,
So 3 years, like I said, something else, I can bring 500.
we all set to go to Pinkenbrook. Pinkenbrook LLC?
Do we need to make a formal determination for Paul, or are we just moving on?
I don't think we're sure we considered it.
We didn't really consider it, we didn't have an application, how
I
can we
know.
consider it without an application?
Nobody asked me.
Okay.
He's not gonna bring in an application. Didn't get much from me. Okay, we had a list we were working with to finish your review.
Yes.
You have the list with you?
I have a list with me, and I have our packet that we submitted, which we responded to all the different things. So first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Jim Seymour, civil engineer with Sebago Technics, representing Pinkenbrook LLC, who's proposing to put a 195-foot tower off of Route 125, Pinkenbrook Road, here in Durham. At our last meeting, it was my understanding, Mr. Brown represented Sebago Technics at that meeting, that there was a little bit of confusion because we didn't follow the new ordinance. We had the older ordinance. So we've gone back. Within my application here, I have added how we responded to each one of the performance standards as they apply to the new ordinance. And at that last meeting, there were some questions with regards to what the setbacks would be required. There's a question about execute transfer of the lease to Pinkenbrook LLC so that the applicant has right title interest in the project. And we have provided you a transfer document for that.
Yep.
And with regards to the ordinance, we've gone through the ordinance, and it appears to us that this falls under other commercial. Clearly, in the new ordinance, it does not meet the industrial use, but with the commercial use, the setbacks would be the same. What we've discovered also is that it would be 1,000 feet setback if there were no buffer. What we've done is we provided you with a buffer this evening of 100 feet around the perimeter of the tower compound area. Other items on the agenda that came from that meeting were need to add all driveways on the plan, which we have done.
Yep.
Underneath that. Amend the lease to show the 100-foot buffer, which we've done. And we provided an aerial photo as requested to give you some setbacks and locations of the houses. With me is also Grant Austin from my company, who will be able to show you, we did run a balloon test out there to see what the visual effects were from a neighboring public right-of-way and other homes that we could access in front of the homes, not on the property. So he can give a little more presentation if that's something the board would like to hear.
Yeah,
Okay. Can I just finish with this and then we can come back?
Yeah.
Okay.
absolutely.
We have applied for a highway entry permit from the Maine Department of Transportation. I believe a copy of that was included in your packet. And I think that was primarily it, other than we just went through each one of the performance standards to match the current ordinance.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to go through each one of those, or you want to hear Grant first, or...
I think the first thing we need to do is determine what the application, no.
Oh,
We got stuck last time, right?
Yep, yep. We have a copy of the entrance permit, we have a revised, we have the lease agreement. Did you read that?
I did. I don't love it. So I think it gives Pinkenbrook LLC right title and interest. I think we met that. I'm still stuck on the financial capacity. The warranty in here, it says shall be assigned. All duties, responsibilities, and financial obligations. It doesn't say is assigned or accepts that assignment, which maybe I'm being too technical, but that's my job. So if you all are happy with that, then you can outvote me.
Can I make a comment? There's also a performance bond to the landholder in addition to that, to finish. Your concern was finishing the project. There is a separate performance bond within the lease to provide coverage. So we've covered it two different ways.
Do we have a copy of that bond?
The bond hasn't been created yet, we don't have a building permit.
So you've agreed to bond it.
Correct.
Yeah, we've agreed to bond it for,
And that's,
land.
that's helpful. The issue is that doesn't help the town, because we can't enforce that private bond.
Would that,
I don't follow you on your question. The bond's in effect whether you exist or not.
Well, we exist.
Right.
We're going to exist.
Right.
The issue is whether you're going to exist, and that's
Doesn't matter if we
our
exist, the
problem.
bond is insured, is an surety.
Right, but the bond doesn't protect the town, the bond protects the landowner. So the town itself has an interest in making sure this project is completed in accordance with code and all of those great things.
Correct. And that's in effect through the landowner.
Yeah, but that doesn't do the town any good,
It
is my
completes
point.
the town, it completes the project and the tower,
If the,
which is what your requirement is,
right,
correct?
no, it completes the project if the landowner acts on the bond. The landowner has no obligation to do that, because they're not the applicant, they have no obligation to the town.
That's not how the bond works. It's not at their trigger. The bond is if we do not perform.
Right. But the,
We do bonds all the time.
yeah, no, I
You
get what
that.
bond is.
You get that, right.
I do. But there's someone who has the right to act on that bond if there's a default, right? So you default, And the homeowner, or the landowner, in this case the church, gets to say, all right, I'm going to go against the bond to get this project finished, right? The town has no right to do that. The landowner says,
The town can request the landowner to affect the bond.
sure, we can request it, but we have no rights under the bond.
Correct.
That's my issue.
That may be true.
Right.
So is that something that can be taken care of with some additional language in the bond, or in?
If you want
Well,
to
actually,
give
you can
us a
make-
performance bond,
Right.
that's,
You can make them a party to the bond.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
That's.
yeah, I mean, if
that's
you give the
generally
town a
done when
performance
you-
bond, I think that takes care of my concerns.
We would make them a third.
Yeah.
A third party. Yeah. And that's done all the time, too.
So we could put that as a condition on the application, that we get a
Continue.
performance bond?
Yeah,
Yeah?
and continue with the application.
I'm fine putting that as a condition.
Yeah. Okay.
So what else were we missing
Awesome.
in the application?
That was at the request of the applicant.
That was at the request of the applicant. Do we have the
What else?
checklist from last
Yes.
time? What else are we
Sorry,
missing?
sorry.
Do you want me to do that? So you can worry about
I have another one, I don't have the
doing
last
what you're
one.
doing?
Is somebody gonna move to find the application completed at this point?
Well, that's
Not
what
yet.
we're
Go through
doing.
the checklist.
When we get
Just
there.
gotta check and make sure that we. There's-
So it looks like we didn't have checked the location, dimensions, and ground floor elevations of existing and proposed buildings. Do we have that? Don't we have that?
Um,
Do we have that in our original?
Oh, we have that.
I think we have that. All right, so I think that one's complete. Yeah?
Yes.
Um, Location of intersecting roads and driveways we now have.
yeah, I think we get the rest of them. One thing
That
I,
doesn't apply. So location of open drainage courses, wetlands, stands of trees, and other natural features. We now-
on a site plan.
Any buffer areas required by this ordinance will also be shown on such plans, so we have that
That
updated,
is all the
right?
plans now, correct?
Sheet 3.
Okay, so I think that's complete.
Done.
Location, that's not applicable. Location, location and type of exterior lighting. That was incomplete.
And we've addressed that in our narrative. The only lights that will be on the facility will be on the shelters themselves, which will be just outdoor lights, full cutoff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys good with that?
Good there. That's
Yep.
good. Yep.
One thing, map 3, lot 87. You still have that as Don and Penny Williams? On this, on sheet 2 of 5?
Right.
Yeah, we didn't do, that was the sheet that we
That's
didn't do.
supposed to be
right?
Kevin
Yeah.
Native's property,
Yes.
is that right?
Yeah.
Correct.
That was Mr. Spivey's plan, so he'll,
So I think Kevin Nadeau was missing on the map as well.
That's it.
That's one. we're-
That's the one we're looking at.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Quantity, location, storage, and containment of hazardous material or petroleum products in excess of 50 gallons. Intended to be stored or used on the site.
and I believe at the meeting, there was a discussion about converting the fuel source for the backup generators to propane, and we have done that as well.
Okay, so we'll make that a condition. State approvals and permits. So we have the highway entrance permit. And do you need like a FCC permit for this, or?
We will need approval from the FCC and the FAA, and those are both pending, I believe, in the application now.
So we'll make those a
Yeah,
condition.
typically a condition there.
They're really not permits or licenses.
Right, they're licenses.
They're review from a aircraft and lighting point of view.
Okay,
As your evaluation.
Right.
Licenses aren't required until we have a client.
okay.
A true license or a permit, all the rest is, are you gonna interfere with traffic patterns of aircraft and lighting.
Gotcha.
So in other words, until you guys actually get someone signs a lease to put up antennas, that these two licenses will not be coming forward? Is that correct? Is that what I'm hearing?
Which two licenses?
The FAA and the FCC?
FAA doesn't give a license, that's what I'm
I
trying to
mean,
say.
I'm sorry.
The
they're-
FCC.
They-
The FAA will
The
have to
FAA
approve?
will give you can go on and you can get the.
FAA is the first step you gotta do.
Right.
If you
Okay.
can't put a tower up at FAA.
Right,
Yeah, you gotta
So you're gonna
determine
get
it's under-
approval
Right.
from
And
them.
then you go to FCC.
for the broadcasting.
And they do a review.
Right.
And then, and that's, we submit,
We've closed out the FCC.
yeah,
process.
that's SHPO, environmental stuff.
Yeah, that's done.
And then the last thing is what they call an ASR, which is an antenna signal registration, when you go for the antenna. And you can make some preliminary request even without a,
Yeah, I'm just trying to get a timeline idea. If these are gonna be conditional and I have to permit you guys with the structure, if some stuff isn't gonna come until you get a lease, that I need to make sure that I keep the stuff in line as a condition of the
He's just-
permit, that these
Well-
things come in. I need to know the timelines in order to know what
Just
to
know the
expect
timeline.
from you in that.
yeah, I guess my issue there is no timeline because there is no license. There's nothing. there's
All right,
nothing
there says applicable state approvals and permits. All right,
state, right.
so these are,
We'll get a building permit from when we go to put an antenna up as well. That's generally, each antenna requires a building permit.
yeah, you will need a building permit.
But you can put the structure up under a building permit.
No, I understand that. I'm just trying to, if the board's gonna give you a conditional use permit, usually the satisfying of the conditions lands in my office. Okay, and then I need to do follow-up as the conditions have been met in order to finalize your,
Yeah, I
actually
guess I'm arguing. the
finalize
condition.
your approval. So if there's stuff coming down the road as a condition, I'm just trying to get an idea of what the expectation is so that I know when those thresholds will be met in order to satisfy the
I
application.
understand that.
Okay,
It's the condition. There is no condition from FAA and FCC. That's what I'm trying to make.
okay.
There is none.
So I think what you want to say is that prior to a user coming on the tower, they'll have to forward you the FAA and
Yeah, that's the
FCC.
time we get the
Just
registration.
The user is the one that
And
triggers that.
that's what I need to know, is when can I expect that particular information
Right, that
through
would be-
this process of your doing this?
That would come after the tower is erected, and then the first user comes to get a building permit, that's when you would ask for that information.
Okay, all right, that's helpful, thank you.
Thanks, that's clears it up.
Okay.
What else we got?
Schedule of construction, Mindy had
There was some question.
accurate and complete cost estimates of development, time schedule of construction, and sufficient financial information for financial capacity. I think we've solved that through a bond.
Yep.
That's all not applicable. Okay,
Yeah, that's all I have.
so I guess with that, I will move to find that the application is complete.
Second.
All those in favor? All right, so we got a complete application. Now,
Paul, do you have an action list?
Who is it that's going to be writing the findings?
We have proposed findings, don't we?
Yeah, I prepared some findings
yeah,
for
pretty
you.
good findings, sure.
Who wants to do the official record on the proposed findings?
Well, this is nice.
Yeah, we did that.
Because I have a criteria thing with some space here for writing, should someone need to add additional information
Okay.
on the findings. That one? Or this one?
This one.
Okay.
So we can go through their set of,
Yes, do
Do you
we
wanna
want to
do
hear
public hearing
what they have
first?
to say and what
Yep.
anyone else has to say?
So I think the biggest issue, one of the big issues in my mind is understanding the scenic impact, the landscape buffering. So it'd be great for them to present rather than us picking at that.
Probably did this, yeah. Very good. You're up.
What we did, typically what we do for a view shed analysis, whatever you want to describe it as, is we'll simulate the location of the tower with a balloon float, which we did at 195 feet, which is the proposed height of the tower. And what this aerial gives you shows you the location of the balloon. And what you're going to have to do is follow along with the attached photos. Apologize for the size, but they get grained out if the larger. So I guess depending on which way you view the tower or the project, the photos might be a good or a bad thing. What we see here is, I believe, the first two, and I've got the locations highlighted here. Photo 1 and photo 2 are down here on the west side of the tower, in probably the closest proximity to the balloon float. That's, according to based on these visual photos, that's probably your best chance, other than possibly photo 4, where you're going to see the tower location. Due to private property, I took the photos at the end of each driveway or right-of-way in the direction of the tower. I can tell you there's a fairly good buffer here in front. This is an old Maine ortho photo. This is from the state of Maine Geological Survey. Okay, this isn't a current Google map. We took this from the state of Maine. So this is pre-cut. So this has been, as you know, thinned out a little bit. Over here, we have a substantial buffer on this western end of the site. I'd say it's most open across from Collins Way, which I do have a photo of the intersection here. And as you get down, this photo 4, the Crawford residence, map 2, lot 29, sits perched up. Now certainly they're going to have a view of the tower. And as you can see from the photos, the balloon is at the pinnacle of the tower, the top. So in most of the photos, you're seeing that the top elevation of the tower is going to be below the tree line. Okay? And keep in mind, these photos were taken, I want to say April. So this is before any of the spring, summer, fall foliage comes out.
And most of the trees left in there are pine now. Most of the deciduous trees have been harvested
gone,
from that site.
yeah. As it goes on, you are going to see more growth. So to walk you through 1 and 2, one's from the Moore residence here at the end of the driveway. You can clearly see I've denoted the red circle is not the balloon. The balloon is in there. It is in there somewhere. And I'd be happy to provide the board with a digital package of the photos for enlargement.
How big was the balloon?
The balloon is roughly a little bit bigger than my wingspan, 5-6 feet, standard weather balloon.
Thanks.
Three from the Waterloo residence, right at the end of their driveway. And if you know the property, their residence sits down. This drops off in grade a fair amount as you get down to the north and northwest of Collins Way. Photo 4, that's from at the end of the Crawford residence driveway. I would assume as you get up into the residence, particularly in the residence second floor, you're going to have a pretty good shot of the tower. The end ones, the back ones, are back.
Oh, quick maintenance.
Quaker meeting, right?
Yeah. Down here, fairly difficult to see based on distance. As you get further out, the balloon's going to sit pretty low along the horizon.
Do we know what that distance is from Quaker Meeting House?
Oh, quick scale, 200, so 2, 4, 6, 800,000 feet.
Thank you.
So how much of the vegetation that we're seeing will be cleared in connection with the project?
None.
None.
No, I mean, are you referring to this area here?
Yeah.
I mean, what's,
Th-
when we were out there, we're basically, what's down is
Right,
down.
it's
We're
down.
able to do
Right.
what we need to do with
Yeah.
what's existing out there.
The
So-
access road is essentially there from the Hall Road, from the logging operation, and where the tower is going is just a cleared grassed area now. So
Where they landed the logs, they'd already cleared it when they did the logging.
Okay.
The second packet is, I believe there was a request, I was passed along from the last meeting to get some photos looking outward from the center of the tower. These photos were taken in the north, south, east, and west direction from the tower.
Okay.
I believe the northerly view, you can see some shading of the residence, but I apologize, this was done fairly early in the morning, so you do have some sun on there. That was really, and in fact, going out there, really, that was what I was seeing the numerous times I've been out to the center of the tower. Driving up Quaker Meeting House Road, headed east, you lose it pretty quick, and then as you know, as you go down Pinkham Brook to the west, it starts dropping down in grade. So that's what we assessed was the, kind of the immediate local impacts of the tower.
So the buffer, you control the 100-foot buffer that is shown around the tower.
Correct.
There is no control of the rest of the forests that are protecting this sight line that are preventing us from seeing this balloon, correct?
Correct. As it stands now,
As
correct.
it currently stands.
I just also want to point out, as Grant mentioned, that the balloon that we're using is 6 feet, and the top of the tower itself is relatively narrow. I mean, there will be an array up there of antennas, but the fact is that the tower itself this is a lattice tower, so it's not opaque like a monopole. So it does allow a little more, less visual intrusiveness, if you want to use that word. 'Cause it's
How
not
big is the plastic array, antenna array?
10 feet.
10 to 12 feet in a triangle each side.
What about the Bloomstein residence? Which is on the south, the bottom portion? Do we have
Yes,
a top
I got
there?
one from the end of the driveway there, and that's photo 2. That would be the bottom photo on the first page. So as you can see, I'm standing right at the mailbox of 906,
Oh,
their address. And again, you've got pretty good cover there with both a mix of deciduous and coniferous vegetation there. I mean, this area, you're right, this area predominantly is pine, is softwood.
anything else you'd like to add?
I just think that, what we see a lot of time with these towers is, as Grant mentioned, is the angle that you're looking at the tower. So if people have vegetation, near the property line, then that can be, as good as anything that can be on the site as far as blocking the visual effects of the tower. Again, this is, like I mentioned, it's not a solid opaque monopole. It is a lattice, so you can see through it. It does blend in a little bit better with the woods, especially in the spring. So, we have provided a 100-foot buffer. We'll allow that to grow up over time, so at least from the public way, you won't be able to see any of the compound area or anything like that. Once that tower's up into the tree line, it's always difficult to hide it. You will be able to see it, but I think it's such a short window that you'll see it on Pinkham Brook Road, that it will really have no intrusiveness to the public. Much more different than a telephone pole, really.
Is there a public who'd like to?
Yeah. I'll skip Bordello.
Yeah.
You need to come up and sit at the table
Is
so
that-
you can,
I'm Skip Bordello. I'm the guy that lives right across the way from this tower. And my concern is that at the proximity of the tower right now, only about 300 feet off the road, I'm gonna look out my front door, and I'm gonna be looking at that tower. I don't, if the tower was perhaps moved back a little bit, the line of sight would drop down and it wouldn't be nearly as bad, but there aren't that many trees in front of where the tower is. It's a pretty clear shot to the road. Then the only trees that are halfway blocking it are mine, that are on my property. And a lot of those are hardwood, and majority, better than half the year, leaves are gone. I'll be looking right at that tower. And I think that's gonna have an adverse effect upon me, my property values. That's my concern. I haven't seen any of these balloon
Do you want to see?
photos.
So that's the photo taken from your driveway.
That's from the driveway, yeah. And I'm gonna be looking at that. 195 feet is awfully tall.
Right, well, that's about where the red circle is.
So, I don't necessarily have, I'm not against the tower, we all have cell phones, we know we need them. But, it sure would be nice if I didn't have to look at it every day. Especially coming out the front door. It's one thing at the end of the driveway. So,
Okay.
We don't have anyone from the Crawfords, no. Could be that. That's the one that is carved out there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crawford. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry, it was old house.
and then as I read the ordinance, under Article 6, Section F, 10E, screening shall be defined as eliminating any view to humans standing at ground level of the residential use or from windows of a two-story building within such location.
So will you be able to see this from your, because it looks like your house is tucked back as well.
Yeah, yes,
So are you saying you'll be able to see this from your house?
yes. I do
And not
believe-
just the drive?
Right. Perhaps not during the summer months when the leaves are on the trees, because I do have, some tall trees in my front yard. But right now, before the leaves come out and all through the winter time, it's all bare.
Okay.
So,
Is there any other public comment, pro or for or against?
I'm for. I'd like to point out to you, sir, that land was logged off 3 years ago, and it's going to have to grow for the next 25 or 30 years before it can be harvested again, so it will improve as time goes on.
I'll probably be dead. Because the ones all in front, with all due respect, all in front was the logging area where they stacked all the logs. That's all wide open. There aren't that many trees, that would be blocking, the view to my house.
And just for
I
the,
understand, they will grow back.
just for the record, I measured, it's approximately 650 feet from the tower to his home. I mean, it's a fair distance, and we do try to, rather than drive that driveway straight in, so that, we do try to hook it so that it's not as visible from the public way as well. And
But when you hooked it,
I understand.
you went right into the clearing.
Any other comments? Yeah?
I just have a question. There are some fir trees that can be planted that grow very fast. And I don't know if that's a possibility and something that could assist with this problem.
So it sounds like the proposal is currently to leave the buffer as is and not do any additional plantings, is that right?
Leave it in its natural state and allow it to come back naturally, correct.
And the buffer, the guaranteed buffer that we have is only that's depicted on the plan, so.
And I think the rest of it is outside the lease area, which isn't even our,
It's in forest management.
right.
Tree growth.
It's in tree growth.
It's in
The rest of the
tree
property's in
growth.
tree
So it
growth.
could be logged again in the future, within the lease term.
And it could be removed from tree growths. if
Sure.
The penalty was paid.
Sure, they don't pay that penalty. Does that affect it? As tree growth? That's not my problem. That's the assessor's problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other comments?
Sarah Sprogel, I'm from the church, from the Friends meeting. So, I mean, I'll just say that our interest is we wanted to set it back as far as we could. So, I mean, our intention is to be as helpful as we can in protecting the neighborhood, and we don't have any, we have good intentions to be as protective as we can, so.
Is there a reason it wasn't located further back then? Because it looks like there's plenty of room to go back.
I think we would not have any problem with that, but it's.
No, we were trying to avoid cutting any of their
Yeah.
big trees. There is a limit on how far it can go back.
And I believe that once we go back even further into the lot, we do get into some wet areas as well.
Wet areas, but we get into some pretty big trees.
Yeah, well, there's definitely some very large trees.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know, we just.
Dave Arstola, member of the meeting. It may be possible that we could go to the left a ways, so it wouldn't be a direct line of sight to his place. And there may, I have to look at it again, there may be more shielding. I know there's some high ground over to the left as you go in.
There's a couple big trees there. We looked at those. We
Yeah.
tried to put the road so we wouldn't even hit any of the trees.
And it's,
I mean, we may have to cut a couple more trees, but.
when we start doing this, then we shift it to the left, somebody else is going to have a clear
Yeah.
line. And unfortunately, that's, I wish there was a perfect space, but to avoid cutting the large trees, which our understanding was the primary focus, was to leave the mature trees that were there. Once we do kick it to the left, we do start having to get into clearing some more of the large trees.
So, what will be cleared with the project as proposed?
Nothing
we'll
will be cleared, it's just a matter of grubbing the ground and putting down the road and
Improving
improving the road and putting down the area for the compound.
Because I believe you just mentioned that there may be some trees that had to be cut. Did I misunderstand
No,
that?
they moved it to the left.
If they moved it to the left.
Is that correct?
Yeah, if it were moved,
Okay.
probably some other trees would
Okay.
have to be cut.
But
Okay.
the site can still be logged in the future.
Yeah.
Yes.
But not for 25 years. 25 or 30 years?
Not everything.
Do we have a forestry management plan on this property?
Yes.
Yes.
If
What
it's
does it
in
call
tree
for?
growth, it would have to have.
Right, well.
I'm sorry.
It should.
We could stipulate an area, that's, would be serving as a buffer that wouldn't be cut, even though it may stay in tree growth,
Uh-huh.
that wouldn't be cut as long as the tower is there.
Between the road and the tower.
Yeah, between anybody's
Okay.
buffer.
No, that's good to know.
In addition to the buffer that.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
should have
Yeah,
been a foot,
yeah,
yeah.
Okay. Any other comments?
All right, let's do it.
We'll work on approval criteria.
So, do you want me to read their proposed findings and we'll vote on them? How do you want to do this? Okay. So our first criteria is will not result in undue water or air pollution. We've got our standard in the ordinance, and the proposed finding is that the proposed site as designed will not result in either undue water or air pollution. The site will be designed to minimize impacts from a new gravel driveway. The tower and compound area will consist of crushed stone surface, which will promote infiltration. Nearly all the surfaces are non-petroleum based. And there will be no air emissions generated by the site with the exception of an emergency generator. What does it mean when it says nearly all of the surfaces are non-petroleum based?
There's no guarantee that they may not use something like reclaimed asphalt,
Okay.
which is, it's used in some aggregate basis. It's inert material, but it still has some petroleum, but it's considered inert by DEP.
Gotcha. So I will move to adopt the finding on criteria A.
You have a second on that?
Second.
All those in favor?
Copy of the criteria from his
complete.
findings.
Another one again?
It's in here.
Yeah, but I didn't see it. It's backwards.
I'll give her this.
Yeah, it's,
It's
what's
flipped
the back?
for some reason.
So second criteria is has sufficient water available for the reasonably foreseeable future needs of the proposed use, including fire protection. The proposed finding is this facility will be unmanned and therefore will not require a water service. The tower is a metal lattice structure. The equipment compound area will be primarily metal cabinets, fencing, and masonry shelters with a built-in fire suppression system within the equipment shelters. I will move to adopt the second proposed finding.
I'll second, yep. All those in favor?
Number 3, will not cause an unreasonable burden, I'm supposed to say on, an existing water supply if one is to be utilized. This criteria shall include use of an aquifer, and the applicant must show that its use will not harm the wells of those currently relying upon said aquifer. The proposed finding is there will not be an unreasonable burden on the water supply system. No water service is required for this project. The applicant will require sublessees to use either double-walled self-enclosed fuel tanks or propane-fueled systems for heat and or generator service.
Move that we accept the findings.
Have a second? I'll second it. All those in favor?
D, will not cause unreasonable soil erosion or reduction in the capacity of the land to hold water so that a dangerous or unhealthy condition may result. The proposed finding is the site will be stabilized in conformance with the erosion and sedimentation plan provided with the plan set. The compound area for cabinets and or shelters will be stabilized with a crushed stone surface. The site is generally level to near level, thereby will not generate fast-moving flows which can cause scour erosion or sedimentation from the proposed development. The site will be protected with erosion control measures until barren areas are firmly established with new vegetation. I will move to accept that finding.
Second it.
All those in favor? See it?
All right. E, will not cause highway or public road congestion or unsafe conditions with respect to use of the highway or public road existing or proposed. The proposed finding is access for this project is in the same location as the existing driveway installed for the recent timber harvesting of the property. A permit application has been submitted for the review of the entrance off Route 125 by the Maine Department of Transportation. Improvements will be made as outlined on the design plans. Once the site has been constructed, service calls by the users will be minimal, consisting of 1 or 2 visits per month. I will move to accept that approval criteria.
I'll second it. All those in favor? Very good.
Alright, F, will provide for adequate sewage disposal in conformity with the state planning code and all other applicable regulations. As the site is unmanned, no sewerage disposal is required or proposed. I will move to adopt that proposed criteria,
Second.
proposed finding.
All those in favor? Very good.
G, will not cause an unreasonable burden on the ability of a municipality to dispose of solid waste and/or sewage if municipal services are to be utilized. The proposed finding is the sublessees will be required to remove any waste from the site and no septic systems are proposed. Therefore, there will be no unreasonable burden on the ability of a municipality to dispose of solid waste and/or sewage on the town for this facility. Where the site is unmanned, there will not be routine solid waste generated. All solid waste due to service calls will be removed by the vendors or the sublessee. So I will move to accept that with a change to make the second sentence make sense.
Second.
All those in favor? Very good.
Okay, sorry. H, will not have an undue adverse effect on the scenic or natural beauty of the area, aesthetics, historic sites, or rare and irreplaceable natural areas, any deer wintering areas identified by the Maine Department of Fish and Wildlife or other agency, or any public rights for physical or visual access to water bodies. The proposed finding is the applicant filed a request with the Maine Department of Fish and Wildlife to review the project site for natural areas. The response provided in the application form indicates that there is no significant wildlife habitat areas in the vicinity of the proposed tower and telecommunications facility. Given the facility's relatively small impact relative to the parcel size that is being constructed within a previously cleared area for a wood yard, and that there is still an appreciable stand of mature trees to provide screening of the facility located 300 plus feet into the wood lot, or into the lot. The project will have no adverse impacts to the natural beauty, aesthetics, historic sites, or natural areas. New understory growth will provide excellent screening, and thereby the project will have minimal scenic impact. There are no known public rights for public waters located on the site. So are we concerned with the natural beauty of the area?
I was kind of hoping that the Photoshop would actually, you could actually Photoshop the tower in so that, not just seeing the balloon, we actually see the tower on the photo.
Problem is
That's
that
my-
given the distance from, it would be a very narrow and you wouldn't be able to see it. You barely can see the balloon, so you would barely.
Yeah.
I think
But at
one
least
thing that you might want to consider maybe as a add to that condition would be the statement that the gentleman from the Friends just made with regards to that they would agree to not clear the trees between the buffer as provided and the public way, as long as the tower is there. We could put that on as a condition. Further give you protection that they won't come in and clear.
That would have to go as an easement on the property, right?
An easement or a legal restriction.
Yeah.
Restriction.
That is certainly, my biggest concern is, we're
The visual.
using criteria, we're using land that isn't part of the true application to provide our screening and our buffer. That isn't in any easement or means to protect. That's the piece I am struggling with.
So we could require that as a condition, so it would basically be a negative easement for the land between the tower facility and the road. However we describe that area.
And you could do it so many feet off the center line of the proposed right-of-way in there now, so you have a protected corridor.
So right now it's 100 feet either side of the way in. You could expand it to, what, 300 feet? either side.
Well, there's no,
It's 100 feet. isn't it?
there's no requirement, now it's just 100 feet around the perimeter of the tower itself,
So-
but you could take it 100 feet both sides of the right-of-way.
That would be a reasonable
Yeah.
buffer, I think.
But that wouldn't screen like the Crawford House, for example. Crawford, or whatever that one is that sits up. Right?
Well, they'd have, yeah, they'd have 100 feet here,
Well,
then another 100 feet from the right-of-way would be like that. So it'd go like this, so they would essentially have one here. Do something about like that. Plus there's 100 foot already established around that, and then if you went 100 off this side, it would be something like that. You could go,
But that doesn't help the folks further down the road, right? So if they log off all the trees between, sorry, I can't. My eyes aren't that good.
or you could just do it so that, maybe the other easy way to do it would be just to a line that's parallel right through here, parallel with their property line, and which is about 150 feet off of Pinkham Brook Road. You know, that whole corridor would be protected.
Maybe up to the spot where you got the side yard setback to protect Mr. Bloomstein.
Here?
Nope, other one down to his property line.
Here.
Down to
Yeah, where you got
Bloomstein's.
the side yard measurement? Is it the same on yours? This one? That one?
Oh, right here.
Yeah. So basically that little L, if that's protective, would that take?
Oh,
care
from
of
this
it?
one too. Yeah, I mean, that matter, you could just make it, I don't wanna take all your wood lot away, but if you could just make it basically right through the center of the tower, all the way up to here, so that it comes out like this.
Yeah, and frankly, there's not even any development up, other than the Crawford House, so that doesn't worry me as much.
But that would give them, would give the Crawfords, 250 feet, almost, no, sorry, 350 feet of buffer from the edge of the compound to the corner of their property line.
Yeah. So that would protect it going forward. We still have the issue that Mr. Bordello believes there's not sufficient screening now to protect the natural scenic beauty.
Again, we didn't, we at Pinkham have not taken those trees down. We did not, it's the nature of the structure itself. And it's very difficult to hide 195 feet in the air. The only thing we could, it's gonna take some time. You just can't buy full-grown trees. Even if you were to plant something, it's gonna take, years for that to get up high enough so that, the angle would block that tower. I think the vegetation that's out there is gonna grow faster than anything that you put in the ground.
Balsam firs would be about the fastest thing that you could grow in there, and I don't know if it's wet enough to support it, and that would take at least 15 years for
Yeah.
them to reach 80% of their.
And there is some young growth starting to take off because it was in the understory of those larger trees, so it's starting to grow pretty
And likely
rapidly.
the best thing that's gonna happen is the overstory is gonna expand because the trees around them have been removed, and
Right, exactly.
you'll get a canopy, more of a canopy expansion than an understory grows, because the understory is not gonna grow up any faster than anything else, other than that it'll be thicker. I don't have the forest management plan, the assessor keeps that, and I'm not sure where it is right now, so I couldn't put my hand on it.
I mean, if we have a negative easement protecting it, that doesn't, it is what it is.
So are we concerned about, so we're buffering a 195-foot tower is, certainly we understand is challenging. The only way to do that is the large trees that already exist, which we've kind of covered what those are going to do. Are we concerned about buffering the ground level equipment, the fencing and the stations and that from view?
I would think that the understory is gonna cover that.
Well, the other thing is, I mean, right now, the criteria we're considering is natural and scenic beauty. That doesn't mean that you can't ever build anything.
Right.
And again, we try to put a chain link fence there so that, at least the concrete or the natural looking square shelters are all blocked from visual as well. And it is placed back 300 feet, and as you've said, a lot of the understory is going to shoot up there and block that from public view. And as the grades work, you really don't see that ground level as well as you do as the upper levels of the tower.
So it'll be a chain link fence.
That's on the plan. It's fully enclosed with and that's for security as well as.
So I'm going to move to adopt this particular criteria with the condition that Pink and Brook obtain however they want to do it, but probably it's going to be a negative easement that the vegetation will not be cut for the life of this lease.
From,
Can we see what's being proposed of that extended?
Sure.
yeah, you folks should.
Can't really blame
We're just gonna get rid of it.
We're all speaking for you.
So it would be from the Crawford sideline out to a line that was on perpendicular through the tower down to the sideline would be Comstein. So it would just be this area from here to here to here. To here. There's already a circle in there.
What are those dimensions?
Is the life of the lease sufficient? Should we say while the towers?
It is.
The tower has to be taken down at the end of the lease.
Yeah, that makes sense.
5 feet.
So for the life of the lease is enough.
The lease actually say the tower has to be.
Yes.
Mm,
That would be roughly 650 feet, 670
I
feet.
thought that's what part of that performance bond is for.
That would be
Make sure it did.
Yeah, it would just be this right here. Right, non-rectangle.
Plus the, is it 100-foot radius of
Right,
the
plus
tower?
this little bubble here.
Yeah, I think we could do that, right?
We can put that in as a deed restriction to go with the, as long as the lease is in effect.
I got a silly question. What color is this lattice?
It's neutral, they call it sky gray. It's a neutral galvanized color. So it's just kind of a light gray, silver color.
It's never gonna rust? Is it gonna
No,
turn?
no, it does not rust. It stays.
It's not gonna, it's galvanized.
Galvanized,
True,
yes.
good
Yeah.
galvanized.
And it has to be, as part of their agreement, they have to inspect that so often to make sure that there is no rusting for the structural stability of the tower itself.
So it's gonna be gray, it's not gonna be red and white?
Nope, nope. And that's part of the reason that we've gone to 195 feet. Typically, anything under
stays short,
200
yeah.
feet is usually either strobed or,
I mean,
as you
it's a
mentioned,
lease.
colored. So,
You don't get to leave your stuff on leased land, right?
Yeah, really. So this tower is gonna be galvanized gray. It's not
That is-
gonna like stand out.
and that has been determined by many practices over time to be the best neutral color. We've actually gone in and we've painted them white and sky blue, and in reality, they stick out more than the natural galvanized.
There's one over in Loudon, New Hampshire that has branches on it.
Yeah, those don't work so well either.
No.
They're fiberglass, and with the repetition of the wind, they break off. And
It looked great when
the
it
other
was
issue with
first
that
put
too
out.
is that it causes the operation of the tower some difficulty because it cavitates the tower and shakes all the panels.
Yeah, it doesn't have that many branches on it
It
anymore.
does not look like a tree. I'm sorry.
There's one in Vassalboro, it looks ugly.
No, it's not. They're not. They look like dying sequoias.
Yeah.
All right, so I have made a motion to adopt it, imposing the condition that there is some sort of deed restriction or negative easement restricting cutting any of the existing vegetated buffer during the term that the tower is up. Because it looks like the lessor can take possession of the tower under lease under certain circumstances, and I don't want them cutting it anyway.
Second. Okay, all those in favor?
I is in conformance with the town's subdivision ordinance, comprehensive plan, land use ordinance, and all other ordinances, if any, and if applicable. The proposed finding is the proposed project is an allowed conditional use and has been designed to conform to the town ordinances and comprehensive plan. In particular, the applicant has replied to each one of the performance standards required for the conditional use per the 2016 version, Town of Durham land use ordinance. So we used to have 2 different sections to go through. Do we still have that?
Yes.
Okay, so
So we-
I'm actually gonna move to come back and consider that later.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Second.
All right.
Move on.
J, the applicant has demonstrated adequate financial and technical capacity to meet the standards required by the ordinance. The applicant has, or the proposed finding is, the applicant has provided a letter indicating if they have financial capacity for this project. Northern Pride Communications will be constructing this project. Northern Pride Communications celebrates its 20th year as a successful and small business firm providing management and support services for towers of many types. NPC provides a wide range of tower and communication services such as the initial feasibility, planning, permitting, acquisition, construction, management, outfitting, installation, demolition, maintenance, inspection, and program management services. They have installed tower equipment and or led these services for all major carriers such as AT&T, T-Mobile, U.S. Cellular, Verizon, Sprint, American Tower, SBA, Crown Castle, and many more industry leaders. We regularly answer the call for radio and TV broadcasters to make emergency repairs and implement installations. Site locations include overseas as well as most of the continental U.S. and Canada. Northern Pride Communications Inc. provides services for towers such as cell communications, signal broadcasting, radio, beacon, ACE navigation, airports, and other similar small and large structures, both freestanding and discreetly encapsulated in buildings. They have completed more than 1,000 tower services projects. Additionally, we provide similar services to hundreds of sites for the federal government, including Navy and U.S. Coast Guard, as a small business subcontractor with hundreds of site services to state agencies, too. Recently, they concluded a multi-tower installation under FAA funding for the State of Vermont VTRAN agency. A letter of assignment and warranty from Northern Pride Communication to Pinkham Brook LLC has also been provided for the board's review. So, I will move approval of that criteria with the condition that Pinkham Brook LLC obtain a performance bond that names the town of Durham as the beneficiary.
Second.
All those in favor? Good.
All right. Okay. Whenever situated in whole or in part within 250 feet of any pond, lake, stream, or river waters will not adversely affect the quality of such body of water, unreasonably affect the shoreline of such body of water. The proposed finding is the site is not located within 250 feet of a pond, lake, stream, or river and will not adversely impact the quality of such waters or water bodies. I will move to adopt that finding.
The second? I'll second it. All those in favor?
L, will not alone or in conjunction with existing activities adversely affect the quality or quantity of groundwater. The proposed finding is this project will have minimal impact on existing activities and is not anticipated to have adverse effect on quality or quantity of groundwater. The site will remain mostly vegetated or promote infiltration, and groundwater quality and quantity will remain the same as current conditions. I will move to adopt that finding as well.
Second.
All those in favor?
M, the applicant will determine based on the FEMA maps, flood boundary, blah, 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 whether the site of the proposed use is in a flood-prone area. If the site of the proposed use or any part of it is in such an area, the applicant will determine the 100-year elevation and all of that, those good things. And the proposed finding is, according to information provided by the FEMA flood insurance rate map for Durham, parcel number, the subject site is not located in a FEMA designated floodplain. So I will move to adopt that finding as well.
Second.
All those in favor?
N, will not have an adverse impact on spawning grounds, fish, aquatic life, bird, and other wildlife habitat. The proposed finding is the site is not located in a resource protected area or near an open water body and will not have any adverse impact on spawning grounds, fish, aquatic life, bird, and other wildlife habitat. A letter from the State of Maine Inland Fisheries and Wildlife Department has been provided stating the state has not mapped any essential habitats or fishery habitats in the proposed development's affected area. I will move to adopt that finding as well.
Second.
All those in favor?
Oh. Will not cause noise, odor, glare, or vibration to disturb the peaceful enjoyment of adjacent property. The proposed finding is this project will not cause undue noise, odor, glare, or vibration on adjacent properties. The site is proposed to be unlit other than entrance lights and the equipment shelters unless mandated by federal review. The tower has been designed to an elevation under 200 feet
Yes.
above ground level that does not require aviation warning lights. So what does it mean when you say unless mandated by federal
If
review?
it
So is
were-
there a possibility?
There
that
is a
this will
slim
require it?
possibility, but based on our preliminary assessment, if it was in the proximity of an airport, they still could require warning lights, or if it was in a flight cone of a path of a licensed airport. There's none in the proximity of this, so it is clear.
FAA has already determined
Right.
it doesn't need lights.
FAA has already determined.
Right.
Okay.
That was part of the original application. You have to say, are you gonna light it or not? Does it require lights? And we said no, and they've accepted that in that.
Do we have that approval? Why don't we have that approval?
I think they do yet.
No, it comes electronically. I don't know.
And make that a condition that we get
Yeah.
that.
I would like to
Probably
see
should
that.
have that.
So I am going
See
to
what?
move to find that this is met so long as there are no additional lights other than what has been described in the application.
Yep. And you can forward us the,
Yeah, we should be able to get that online, right? The,
I don't know if that, whatever we got online.
Right.
Yeah.
check preliminary
It's just a
assessment.
check, I think a
Right.
check that
Right.
no lights.
Right.
So if additional lights are at some point required, they'll have to come back before the board.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want lights either.
no.
All right, so I've moved that with the change.
All those in favor?
P will not place an excessive burden on the ability of the town to provide municipal, government, or educational services. The proposed finding is this project will not place an excessive burden on the town as it is uninhabited.
Uninhabited, yeah.
I'd like to know what is inhabiting that
Yeah,
tower.
maybe some squirrels, a few sparrows.
Just who's living there?
And requires no municipal services. It will provide additional tax revenue for the town. So I will move to find that, to adopt that criteria, that proposed finding.
Second.
All those in favor? Very good.
So, performance standards. Is that where we need to be? We need to be.
Did we skip one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have, well, we have
Oh,
to
yeah,
go back
we
to
gotta go back to that
I,
one.
because we have to find it meets all of our other fun stuff.
Which is this whole,
Yeah.
I thought we had fixed this.
right.
We fixed this.
How do we fix it?
Why didn't we fix it?
Someone
When we
read
rewrote
the-
this stupid ordinance.
So,
Conditional use performance.
we'll set with findings of facts, but
So do you just want to go through the conditional performance standards? I mean, in
Starts on
theory, they're
page
supposed to
24.
expand, no, on 55.
The general performance standards?
No, the conditional use performance.
I'm sorry.
Do we have to go
This
through
one.
those as well? I thought we fixed this. Why didn't we fix this?
we've already done findings of fact, it's basically the same thing, right?
No, but they're not.
They're close. A few of them are the same. Trust me,
I'm trying to
I've
get 'em-
responded to both of them, so.
Trying to get them to be the same.
Well, that's just it. I thought
Streamline
we
things a
fixed
little bit.
this. Why don't?
No, I think we did, because they said these performance standards are all specific to particular types of use, right?
Okay,
In
so we
regards-
just need to go through the conditional use performance
Right,
standards.
and the building, when they start to do the construction, I use the general performance standards to
Alright.
manage that, so we did fix it.
Yes.
Some relief from that.
What page are we on?
55.
55.
Those are the ones that I responded to.
They're in
This one, in this packet, yes.
On which one? Oh, in the first one?
right.
Oh, and the second one.
Is it the second
The
one?
second one?
It's in the second one because
What did we just do?
I updated it for the new ordinance, so.
Yeah.
Where?
All right.
Right here.
Might be missing it too.
Page 4 or 5.
You should have it.
What am I missing?
You should have it.
Oh. Well, now I've made a mess.
We just went through
I got
all
it.
this, all right?
Okay.
You went through a lot of them, but there's
No, we
some-
went through
Right.
A through O. Now we're going through 1 through whatever.
Only 19.
Do I really have to read these all? All right, air pollution.
Pass it off to someone else.
And did you finish up I on?
No, that's, we
She's
We're
coming
doing
back
that
to
now.
that one.
can't finish I until we go
Until we
through
do
this.
1 through.
Yeah. And this is zoned correctly for this one? This is zoned correctly? It's allowed, it's a conditional
Yes.
use in the zone, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right,
Pass that to.
yeah.
No.
Carefully
No,
vote.
careful. Hope you weren't offering just to be nice.
Trying to be reasonable here. Okay.
They-
Pretty bad. So air pollution?
Yes.
So I read this all of this. The proposed power and telecommunication project will not produce emissions of gaseous materials to cause the soiling of any material beyond the lot line, and will it have a detectable odor such as emissions will cause any health effects in normal persons residing within a radius of 1,000 feet from the lot lines. The project may house emergency generators which will have exhaust well within the parameters as allowed under this performance section.
So I will move to adopt that criteria. That
I'll second it.
finding.
All those in favor?
I'll still keep track, you can just read.
Water pollution. The proposed project will meet all applicable water control standards of the Maine Department of Environmental Protection and not degrade any surface of subsurface water supplies below the state's primary drinking water standard, nor will lower the quality of the water below the state's secondary drinking water standard. The proposed project will not, by reason of activity, alter the quality of any surface or subsurface water in such a way as to adversely affect any fish, plants, or animals that might live in, around, or drink from such water. The site is of minimal impact and impervious surface and promotes infiltration to mitigate surface runoff impacts.
What makes the site impervious?
Impervious surfaces are hard surfaces such as concrete, metal, pavement, things like that.
Okay.
So you're gonna have gravel.
Right, the only thing that'll be impervious will be just the roofs of the shelters themselves.
I will move to adopt that proposed finding.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Water supply, number 3, the proposed site is an unmanned facility as it does not require a domestic or fire prevention supply of water.
I
Motion to accept?
move to adopt that finding.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Soils, the project site is utilizing an existing cut woods road and will utilize the cleared 76-foot by 76-foot area for the crushed stone enclosure. Soils are noted on the Androscoggin County medium intensity as Hollis, fine, sandy loam, 0 to 8% slopes. Soils are suitable for construction of facilities and will require limited erosion control practices. We do not expect to have any geotechnical issues for the bearing capacity of the soil for the tower construction.
I will move to adopt that proposed finding.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Soil erosion, the design of the site minimizes tree clearing and soil disturbance as it follows an existing woodlot haul road. A specific soil erosions and sedimentation plan have been provided discussing silt fence insulation and loam and seeding disturbed areas immediately after construction. In addition, the site will not alter existing tree coverage, so will allow for the lot to revegetate from the select cutting practices undertaken prior to the project proposal. Based on photographs and balloon tests, we feel that there is already adequate screening for most of the public locations, and this will also assist in avoiding any erosion of the surface from one 12-inch diameter culvert is located to connect connectivity of the surface water along the driveway. No adverse runoff rates or impacts are anticipated with the design and construction of the site of this tower and communication facilities.
I will move to adopt.
I'll second it.
I'd like to see a 15-inch culvert. 12-inch culverts don't work.
And I understand that, and we typically do that on road sections. This one is, again, a very narrow, it's a driveway essentially. The only reason that this is even there is because there's just two low-lying areas on both sides of the road. Personally, I don't think that you'll ever see much of anything going through the culvert. I think it'll go down through, but we just put it there in the event of winter conditions that, the ground's frozen. But if you want a 15, we can put a 15, and it'll just have a little less cover over it.
What do you think about his response?
We're trying to do a standard throughout town of 15-inch culverts. 12-inch culverts have been problematic, and I'm not sure, having not visited the site, that should that fail, what it's going to affect. I mean, it's not like it's in the ditch out by the road, but it's been relatively well understood that 12-inch culverts fail
I don't think.
at a much higher rate than
You don't have an
15s,
objection,
but I
do you?
don't know how much fluid's running through this
No
one.
objection to going to 15? Do you have any objection going to 15?
No, I have no idea.
We'll just agree to the
I have no
15.
Just
idea.
Alright, so-
change it to 15.
I will move to adopt that proposed criteria with the change to a 15 inch culvert.
Thank you.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
To let us access the circulation, the site will be accessed by a 50,
50 foot.
looking for the foot. Foot right-of-way and easement for utilities and the tower facilities. A turnaround has been provided at the gated area into the fence compound for service vehicles to easily turn around. The facility does not require a street or road for access, and as such, the driveway has been designed for minor commercial traffic with a,
3-inch.
let's say a minus 3 inch.
You can't go minus.
No, hopefully not.
Say, I've never seen that before.
It's mud.
Seen mud. Minus 3-inch finished course of gravel and a total sectional depth of 18 inches of gravel. But traffic will be light with only a few monthly visits to the unmanned facility. We have filed for a highway entrance permit with the Maine DOT and have shown the site distance as 720 feet to the west and 900 plus feet to the east, which far exceeds the maximum requirement of 425 feet for a 45 mile per hour zone. Service vehicles will be standard pickups or 1 tons and very infrequently, such as the standard driveway width of 12 feet is appropriate.
On page 60, the bottom of the page is I believe that they are not paving the entrance, that this will have to be waived. So it says on the bottom of page 60I, all commercial entrances regardless of traffic volume may be required by the planning board to be paved. It said maybe, okay, it doesn't say
May-
shall, I'm sorry.
Maybe.
All right, thanks.
And I
Sorry.
do believe that this will be under, that jurisdiction will probably be under the highway entrance permit. They typically will want the apron paved to the right
Usually
way.
15 feet, I think, is
Right,
what the
yeah,
DOT
they'll want it
requires.
3% to the property
Okay.
line.
Yep,
So that's all basically handled through MDOT.
Okay.
thanks. Sorry,
Very good.
it said may, I thought it said shall, but I didn't want to miss it.
Well, so if that'll require 15 feet, we could require 30. Do you guys see any reason to?
No, not really.
Alright, then I
Just
will
less asphalt.
I'll move to adopt the proposed finding
I'll second that.
with the typos fixed.
All those in favor?
Solid waste from the facility will only be generated by service contractors upon initial installation. All contractors or the Pick and Brook LLC will be responsible for picking up any service waste. Otherwise, the site is unmanned, will not generate or sold solid waste.
I will move to adopt that proposed finding.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Landscaping of the proposed site shall be preserved in its natural state insofar as possible when constructing the tower and accessory structures, parking areas, and drives by minimizing tree removal and grade changes. The site is adequately protected by natural vegetation, and the applicant has agreed to a 100-foot wide buffer to further allow natural preservation of existing trees and lower vegetation to naturally screen the site over time. All materials used on the structures will be neutral in color to further not adversely impact the visual appeal. Given the distance of nearly 300 feet from the front property line, the site's curved approach, it makes for a nonlinear view of the site compound to assist in hiding the site from public view.
So if you guys look in our specific criteria, no industrial, commercial buildings or uses should be established in, any closer than 1,000 feet from a residential use unless a landscape buffer strip is provided to visually screen the building or uses. Screening shall be defined as eliminating any view to humans standing at ground level of the residential use or from the windows of a two-story building within such location. Landscape, where vegetation can provide screening, landscape buffer may consist of fences, walls, tree plantings, hedges, or combinations thereof.
Buffering shall be sufficient to minimize the impacts of any kind of potential use.
Screening shall be defined.
As eliminating any view to humans.
Yep. See that? Well, we can make that a condition. I don't know how we're gonna totally screen it from everybody.
It would seem to me that under the circumstances of the ordinance and the intent of the ordinance, is that typically no commercial structure, except the tower, can be over 35 feet. So in that consideration, except for towers, it would be reasonable to expect an applicant to have the capacity to screen it from view. When you come to a 200-foot tower, it's just not possible. In that particular case, I would have to say that, from my opinion, that provided every effort is made to do as much as is possible, I don't think it's possible to meet the intent of the ordinance based on this. And under the circumstances of the exception for height, I think that this particular situation does fall into that category.
Don't we have the authority to waive something? When we do that, what do we do with that?
Radius, elevation, height thing that the tower thing, or?
No, no, no.
You're looking to see if there's a waiver criteria for
Where
standards?
is,
Didn't we?
yeah, we did put,
Because we
Yeah.
argued about that.
we did.
Mhm.
We
But
put
did it make the
in-
cut? Did it not make the cut?
And you did with some amended language
Oh, yes.
against my
Yes.
better
That was it.
judgment.
The conditional use shall not be approved if in the judgment of the planning board, the applicant is not able to reasonably meet one or more of the standards. In all instances, the burden of proof shall lie on the applicant. Where did we put that? The planning board, on bottom of page 55, the planning board may waive any of the general performance standards based upon a written request of the applicant. A waiver of any general performance standard may be granted only if the board finds that the standard is not required for the proposed project to be in compliance with the approval criteria.
May waive any of the general,
And that's where this is in, as general performance standards, correct?
well, no, this is in conditional use performance standards,
Oh,
which is different.
That's true.
Performance standards. Removed stuff.
proposed development non-compliance with design standards may be considered, but the applicant shall provide clear and convincing evidence that the proposed design will meet the performance standards. In all instances, the burden of proof should be on the applicant to present adequate information to indicate that statutory criteria for approval and performance standards have been or will be met. Does precedent take place in this around town?
Well, I was gonna suggest that, I know that the tower, as you mentioned, you just can't hide a tower, but we have taken measures to, hide the commercial structures within the compound,
Yeah.
which are, the primary use is the
Yes.
compound. The tower is kind of almost accessory to that, so.
And it's gray. It's not.
Right.
It's not fluorescent orange.
What if a buffer were applied to the one, a butter that had some concerns on their side of the road rather than near the tower, so that some elevation might offer him some relief?
I
mean, he's not here, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what to say about that, but.
Yeah. As I recall, he has quite a buffer in the front of his house, but
He said it was mostly deciduous trees,
Yeah,
though, not coniferous trees.
Exactly.
And his concern was wintertime. He seemed to think it would be screened in the summer.
Would some,
Yeah.
so what would the screening have to be if it were at the property line to meet
There'd
this
probably
requirement?
have to be some spruce or firs,
Right.
and we'd have to have his permission to do it. I'm afraid he left early.
There are trees along the front, right? There's a few.
Mm.
Yeah, there's a good photo in here of it.
I mean, I went by the site. There's certainly our large opening.
Yeah.
Currently in the proposed area.
Yeah. So
What if the board did a site walk? Yeah, I love that idea.
I kind of feel like that is, with this one, might be what we have to do in order to.
Would it assist if
straighten
we planted, I'm just wondering, would it assist if we planted some trees along the access road going in, so it kind of staggered the view of from his property?
I mean, it's a little hard to know what to do without standing by his front door and see what it is he's talking about
Exactly.
and looking at, I mean, it's
Mhm.
hard to know that if it's been reasonably met without
Right.
that.
Should be
in my
noted that
opinion.
these properties, as you get down away from Pinkham Brook
Or
Road.
lower too?
No,
lower
they
in
are.
elevation,
Absolutely, yeah.
But there's no,
significantly
yeah.
lower than elevation. So
Mm.
my photos are from the edge of the property boundary, with
Yeah,
respect to private
you're-
property. I'm literally on
Yeah.
the right of way from
Yeah.
Pinkham Brook.
Right.
From recollection, believe have a hard time seeing the residents, at least the lower.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the trick is, of course, he's the one who's been here and been vocal, but there is another residence there that I think still falls into this requirement, even though that gentleman or that owner was not here to speak.
So the other issue is whether we can waive this. When we moved stuff around, we didn't fix the language. I think the intent was to allow us to waive performance standards as long as we felt they met. So right now it says we can only waive general performance standards, not conditional use performance standards. So I'm not convinced we can waive this, but I don't know what you guys think. This is ours to interpret. With the language on the bottom of 55.
Yeah.
This is not a piece I'm excited to waive.
No. I think we'll have pushback on it.
The weird part is you put them under the conditional use performance standards.
We moved stuff and it was not well done.
Well, it was, but maybe we need to skew that a little bit. You know, maybe that's something we need to do for next revision. How does everybody feel about a site visit? Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't. I mean, unless we can rely on, unless we're comfortable relying on the balloon photos, that's all we've got.
I appreciate the balloon photos, but not showing me a whole lot. They're showing me a balloon at 195 feet. Not showing me the buildings. They're not showing me all that tower from 1 to 195 feet.
Oh, we're not gonna see that on the site visit either.
Well, no. But we can Photoshop it as we stand there.
Minds.
They do visual sims.
So here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to move to find that this piece is not met. If you all vote me down, I want a site walk instead. I'm fine with that. But just based on the photos that we have from the applicant and the very strict wording of our ordinance, I think this is not gonna be completely screened from view from all, particularly the Crawford residents, but
Yeah.
from all residential uses. Whether that criteria makes sense or not, it is what it is.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah, I hear ya. So maybe the Board of Appeals can help you out, but, so I'm going to move to find that this criteria is not met. If there's no second, then
I'll
we
second
move
it.
on.
I'll second it. I can't go. I can't say it is. Eliminating any view to humans. I just
don't know how anyone could ever meet any criteria for commercial use then. It's,
I wish it was worded different.
Exactly.
it's an impossible standard.
Yeah. Yep. But that's what we got to go with.
So you're gonna say it's not accepted, but if our legal counsel looks at it,
If you can show us how it is.
no, we would say, show us how you can meet that, is probably what the lawyer would say.
Well-
You've created a standard that.
You're
Not our
free,
burden.
you're free to do that. It's not.
Right, that's
So,
right.
and
it's
you're
not
free
the
to
board.
appeal to
You
the Board of
Yeah.
You
Appeals.
can look at that.
We
You
just
would-
can't do it.
Yeah, this board can't, but there is options for you with which to appeal these decisions, and you and your attorney are free to base that on anything you'd like.
Yeah, my suspicion is here negate the ordinance, not appeal the decision. That's the easier way to
It's,
do it.
again, that's,
Yeah.
you and your counsel have those rights.
Yeah.
to pursue
I mean,
whatever
I guess
avenue you'd like.
my question would be back to that page 55. I just don't understand why under the conditional use performance standards you'd be referring to general standards when they don't apply to conditional use.
It does say the performance standards in this article.
What was that, Jim? I didn't understand what you said.
No, it says, where are you looking?
Well, the first words, the performance standards in this article.
Right, are intended to
Right.
clarify and expand. I don't know, but John doesn't
Compliance with the performance standards of the section.
John doesn't want to go down the waiver route either.
Well, you can vote me.
I mean.
It goes around, comes around.
Do we interpret our own ordinance to allow us to waive this?
Well, it says
And
performance
That
quite a
it's
few times.
General performance.
Yeah, I mean, because
And there's a specific section that is called general performance standards.
Yep. Yeah,
I think the
trying to
paragraph got
find
put
a
in
way
the wrong
around.
part. Should have been in general performance.
No, it just didn't get updated to reflect which part it's
Yeah,
in.
you want, I think what you want to do is refer to the same language that was in the performance standards and apply them to the conditional use
Yeah.
standards, and the word general never got
Yeah.
removed,
No, that's
seems to be,
exactly what I wanted.
which
Far
is,
from a perfect document.
no,
Thank you.
but I'm just saying that because it's listed under under that section, then I don't know what happens.
So we've got a motion and a second. Why don't we vote on it? If we split on it, then I don't know. But
Well,
Need to vote.
all right.
you want to say it again?
right, can we
So
motion?
I have moved to find that this approval criteria is not met because it is not fully buffered from all residential uses. And it falls within the 1,000-foot range.
And I seconded it. All those in favor?
And two opposed? I don't know what we do now.
Just one question, is there a waiver process?
Yes.
Can we request a waiver?
Well,
We can request a waiver, correct?
Yes, because that is step one to the process, is the applicant request the waiver.
And right.
And
Right. That
Jim,
is.
Are you requesting a waiver for that in our?
I am now.
write it up.
All
Write it up.
How do we give a waiver?
I think we're all in the same position, we just.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
the issue is whether we have the authority to fix this for you.
Or we pass it
Or
to the
just
appeals?
fix it. I shouldn't say for you, I don't.
Yeah.
We should just fix it. Bring it to town, bring it to a special town meeting. But. Shoot. What's everybody's feeling on this?
Well, we're split two now.
We are,
Which
Yeah,
is
so
Well, if
essentially,
it fails, that motion fails.
that's correct.
Okay, so then we need another motion.
do we have another motion?
Will also fail. And then we're here
We're the
forever.
Supreme Court now.
Yeah, right.
Where's politics? Where's Mindy when we need her?
We could do this all night. Yeah, we get,
So, all right, is there an alternative motion?
There's only one other alternative motion.
Well, I mean, we could go to a site walk.
Would it be,
But what is the sidewalk gonna buy us?
Well, I don't think it buys us anything, but
I
I don't
don't-
like the idea.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with you.
well,
So you're not gonna make that motion.
well, I don't know, standing down at Skip's front door and looking out to see if you could actually see through all that
Either way,
vegetation,
you're
I'm
gonna
not
be able to
sure.
see it through in the Crawford residence, and that's what the applicants
Crawford.
themselves told us.
Crawford's,
I mean, that it
Okay.
is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, a tower
That's not
that,
gonna change if we're
Crawford's
standing
down
there.
there.
a tower that large, you're gonna see some part of the tower. You're not gonna be
Yeah.
able to block the view
Right.
of it, so.
Well,
So I guess, you know, if,
We could, but it's gonna look a lot worse
Well,
than
yeah.
just a tower.
right. Because, I mean, there are means in here of fences and trees and other combination thereof. So the question is, are we screening? Because I think if you stand at, I think it's, what is it, Crawford's, you're gonna be looking at the fence, you're gonna be looking at the equipment for a fair amount of time, for sure.
you see it?
Is it, he's
I don't
lower in
It's
elevation.
low, I don't think you'd be able to see the
Crawford.
fence.
Can we get the right one?
Oh, the Crawford.
Serio's old house.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
got photos from behind it where you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, that's
see-
what I was saying, we
See the
could,
balloon
we
with
could-
the- with the house in between.
yeah, we
so.
could plant trees, you know, along that side of the road and then plant some around the outside of that fence.
Well, the other suggestion, we have done for other clients, is you know how a chain link fence, you can actually weave a green, that screens, that's a screen that a lot of people have requested. That blocks out the
They'll
facility.
screen the buildings.
You never block out the tower, but it will blend in the chain link and screen any of the stuff inside the compound.
But the buffering, the goal of the buffering is minimize the impacts of the potential use, parking, loading, unloading, operations, you know.
And all that is inside the fence
Inside the
compound.
fence.
So do we have another motion? What are we doing?
Do we?
Oh my God, it's almost done.
Right.
If they agree to buffer the buildings, is that gonna?
It doesn't
It's
fix
not-
it for me, but if it
it's
fixes
not
for
gonna-
you, then it's
Right.
3 to 1.
It's not gonna buffer the tower.
And we can move on with our lives.
Yeah, I think that's what we're talking about, buffering the building and the fence. But I don't think we get to the tower. I don't think there's any physical way of doing that.
Right.
So are you making a motion to require that they screen the
I am.
building
I am.
Screen the building only.
as a condition and then it meets the criteria? Okay.
Yep.
So is somebody gonna second that?
I will second that.
All those in favor?
And opposed? Nice.
Thank you.
Mike, would you kind of just repeat your motion? I really like to get it straight.
I'll
It
read
was
it.
something about green,
Something.
Slats.
Screener?
Yeah.
Wait, yeah.
into the process of writing it down.
Weaving green
Oh, and
vinyl.
she's
So
taking.
did you
I'm
get a
taking it
majority
as
vote?
working.
Yeah, 3 to
So-
1.
Wonderful.
So they are, so the motion is that they will provide adequate buffer for the facility,
Right,
not including the tower.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
We're talking
In-
screening or buffer, they're two different things.
There's landscape buffering as defined in our ordinance. I mean, there's,
As much buffering and screening as you can possibly do.
So you want the word buffering, is that what we agreed on?
Yeah, part of the concern was certainly, as they looked at the fence, is there a way to
Green,
green the fence?
green the
Right, that's
fence.
what,
Yeah, that's
There is a way
that's what
to-
you talked
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
well, that's the green weaving.
Yeah,
piece.
Sure.
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've provided a 100-foot natural buffer.
Right.
Right.
So wait, what was your motion? Or what was the condition that we all just voted on?
He wanted the
So,
vinyl
we
slats
want-
in the screening.
You want the fence filled in?
Right,
Yeah.
Okay.
right.
John, you agree with that?
I thought we were actually asking for
Trees?
buffering,
Well,
landscape
in
buffering.
addition,
We've got 100-foot
We already have
buffer.
a
Do you want
Yeah, I
that
thought we were
planted?
asking for
Right.
both.
I'm not,
Screening and buffering.
the vinyl thing, I don't know, it looks just as ugly as the chain link fence.
Would you like us, we could stagger-
Landscape buffering, I think, is
Would
what I
you be
think is
acceptable to a
important.
single row of balsam firs along the perimeter of the fence? On the sides of the residence and public way?
well, maybe that would even look better.
Right.
Okay, do all three of you agree that was the motion that we just voted on?
Yes.
Okay.
Provide a landscape buffer.
And then you can still do the slats.
So we've gone from plastic to woody product.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're going al natural now.
Something a little more natural.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Rolling right on.
Yeah.
Speed of light.
We have not discussed historical and archaeological resources. We have not discovered any listing of historical sites or pending historical sites based on the state historical preservation postings. We have submitted a request for review with the Maine State Historical Preservation Office as part of the FCC review of the tower facility. We must conduct a Nation Environmental Protection Act review to include not only the state historical review, but also the Indian tribe review for the burial site. We have received various confirmations from the Indian tribes nationally that they have no known burial sites or history of any native former communities in this area. We are not disturbing any property, stone walls, or markers, and there are no known burial sites near the immediate construction zone of the tower. A cemetery on the same parcel is well over 750 feet from the construction activity. The site is not readily visible from the public way for more than 500 feet from the site. A balloon test was conducted and photographs taken, providing evidence of the site's buffering even after selected tree cut to the site. A 100-foot buffer has been shown on the plans by the applicant to maintain a natural wood barrier.
That 100-foot has been extended though, right?
Yes.
Or as deed restricted.
To the property lines from
Yeah.
Crawford's to,
What's the other one? With a C.
Crawford's to Boomstein? Yeah.
Boomstein, yes.
Okay, so we're gonna have to word that in.
Word what in?
The extra
The extra
buffer.
buffer that we're doing.
The buffer.
The actual deed restriction for no cut.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we've already got that as a condition.
Yeah, okay. We get that written down.
Yeah, so I will move to adopt that
Number 11.
proposed, yeah, finding.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
12, natural resources. The site does not contain plants listed in the federal or state list of endangered species or other rare exemplary plant features will be affected adversely by the proposed use. A letter from the Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife dated March 25th, 2016 was previously provided, confirming that we have not mapped any essential habitats that would be impacted by the proposed development.
I will move to adopt that criteria.
I'll second. All those in favor?
I'm sure it won't diminish the public's ability to get to the water.
On that note, number 13, financial and technical capacity. A letter from the TD Bank dated March 22nd, 2016 was previously submitted to the town, providing evidence that Northern Pride Communications had a $400,000 line of credit for the site construction. As per request of the planning board, a letter of assignment and warranty has also been submitted from Northern Pride Communications to Pinkham Brook LLC.
I will move to adopt that proposed criteria, given the condition that we already have with the performance bond.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Number 14, noise. The proposed site is unmanned and only HVAC units for future equipment. Shelters will promote noise. The given distance of the site to property line of these noise levels will be much below the allowable 45 decibel limits for nighttime use. Emergency generators tested during intermittent times during daytime hours once a month could also pose a short level of noise, but those too would not reach the daytime limits of 55 decibels during daytime hours. The generator would be used only in emergency situations during power outages and could be deemed exempt from the noise standards. Noises from the construction activity will not commence until 7 a.m. and will shut down at dusk during weekdays. There may be limited activities on Saturday, and no construction activities other than emergency situations would be expected on Sundays.
So, are you saying the generator noise would exceed our?
No, would not.
No.
They're muffled, they have mufflers
They have
on.
mufflers on them. And
Will be used only in an emergency district.
Right, well, I don't
Could
even
be
wanna
deemed
go
exempt.
there and find that it's an emergency situation if they're never gonna exceed the 45
what they do,
decibel levels
yeah.
overnight.
It's just in your noise standards, that generators are exempt, so.
Well, I don't think it is that generators are exempt. I think that emergency activities are exempt.
But they won't reach that level.
They won't reach that level.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So then I'm gonna move to adopt this, taking out that last sentence in the first paragraph. But I'll move to adopt the rest of it.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Number 15, odor. The proposed site will not emit odors. Thank you very much.
All those in favor? Go on to 16.
would hope, anyway.
All right, Mike
Yep.
moved that and I seconded it.
16, lighting. The site will have no lighting on the tower as the site was intentionally left below the FAA mandate of 200 feet AGL height requiring lighting. The only lighting on the site will be for the lighting of the main doors with a full cut fixture of each individual equipment shelter. Typical wattage is 100 watts or equivalent, and typically LED lights are now used on prefabricated shelters. No flashing, strobing, or safety signals are anticipated or required for the facility.
I'll move to adopt that proposed.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
17, explosive materials.
Boom.
Uh-oh.
The only explosive or combustible materials, liquids, solids, gases to be stored in bulk as defined as greater than equivalent of 200 gallons above ground on the site is to serve the emergency generators for each shelter and the telecommunication use. The AG tanks are located at least 75 feet from any lot line, and such materials will be stored in a manner and location which is in compliance with the rules and regulations of the Maine Department of Environmental Protection, rules and regulations of the Maine Department of Public Safety, and any other applicable federal, state, or local regulations that in effect.
I'll move to adopt that proposed criteria.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Number 18, signage. No sign for the tower or telecommunication facilities will be illuminated with flashing, moving, or animated type lights. Only small signs indicating warning of...
Yes, warning of devices.
I think wearing?
Yeah.
Warning of devices, and the individual FCC regulation numbers will be posted on the site. These signs are typically installed on the fence compound to the facilities or on the shelters. It's our understanding these signs are exempt from the town's signage standards.
I'll move to adopt that criteria.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
And finally, number 19, education services. The proposed site is unmanned, not inhabited, and will have no impact on its development or cause the population of Durham's elementary school to have any increase.
That one as well.
All those in favor?
Todd, you seconded that.
Second it.
All right, so going back to I on our first sheet.
Yes.
Having gone through that, the only other condition I wanted to add is that all other permits and licenses will be obtained.
And they will be if they plan to put an array on there, so. As long as they have their entrance permit.
Right. So.
What was that now?
They want to have proof that all other licenses and permits are obtained.
For the construction of the tower?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won't be.
Your license to put the array up won't be,
Okay,
right?
got it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the tower's okay, just the array you'll have to have the FAA.
Yeah, so your driveway entrance permit.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
So with that additional condition, I'll move to find that,
Aye.
that I will move to adopt the proposed finding in I.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
So with the four conditions I have are performance bond naming the town, a negative easement or deed restriction for the trees in the area we discussed, a row of balsam fir to be planted to screen the fence in the facility, and all necessary permits and licenses must be granted before construction as applicable. With those four conditions, I will move to approve the permit, the application.
Second.
You mentioned the performance bond. Yeah, okay.
Yes, that was
Yeah,
condition number one.
and yes, I missed it, sorry. Any more discussion on it before we approve this application?
We're good?
All those in favor? Yeah, just that little wave. Very good.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your time and assisting us, getting us through this lengthy process.
Thank you for your excellent proposed findings and conclusions.
Yeah, nice
Mayor,
job.
why it's
Nice
easier.
work. Very nice work.
I'm gonna work on those typos.
Yeah.
understand.
when you're flying
I'm
along.
not the only engineer that like reads my stuff later and I'm like, oh,
Flying along with the computer.
I'm cringing over here.
Just the intent.
We got the intent.
Here's up to Todd and John, and then you'll wind up with it.
I'll wind up with it? Okay.
Throw that into the mix.
We need to put the conditions on there.
Oh, yeah.
There'll be another.
Just a few more acres.
So what are we signing this for?
There's
no
the
idea.
conditions
Well,
aren't on it,
don't
you
you have
can't
your
sign it.
Yeah, I'm not signing this unless we
Don't you have your
have.
conditions written on your paper?
Yeah, but they've
Yeah,
gotta be on there.
they have to be on there.
Huh?
They've gotta be on the permit.
They have to be on there.
This is just,
It's just
Yeah.
for what?
this is just for this.
Right, but this was approved with conditions.
Right.
So we're not gonna
Yeah,
sign it
yeah.
unless the conditions are on the approval.
We just have to have the conditions on that paper.
Okay, so
That's
I'll
all.
type, Dan will type them up? or-
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, we
Yeah,
get it,
that's
and we'll
fine.
just sign it at the
Then
next
keep
meeting.
The original then.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I won't have to sign it.
Thank you. Yeah,
Night.
that's good.
Okay,
So
well,
glad we could entertain you for the last 2 hours.
well, I don't own a typewriter, so if you, you're gonna have to sign it
No, I'm
again.
only kidding.
You're gonna have to sign it again.
I know it is, but all right.
You could add a page.
I was, yeah.
Thank you for
Each
recognizing that.
application, full photos are on there. Photos are on there too, as well as.
I wonder if we're gonna get any pushback on that. I guess he can do what he wants.
Well, I'm glad Chief appreciated your work, so.
Nice work, guys, really. Nice.
Do we get a document that says approved contingent upon
Yes, you will receive a signed,
receive it.
a conditional use permit from,
Just catch up on the
signed by the board,
clerical.
and I will see when that it gets to you.
And then we're assuming we go for permit for antennas.
You'll come to me for a building permit, and whatever else, you're gonna need an electrical permit and various other things as well, or we'll discuss that when we get a chance. We'll get you whatever permits you need to build a tower.
Yeah, I think all the electrical will be run, it's just the hookup of the shelter,
Well, if there's.
whatever that, we
yeah,
usually have an
there's a-
electrician do all that.
Yeah, the electrician will have to pull the permit for the
Right.
electrical work, but you'll need an electrical permit and a building permit.
Right.
Yeah. So come see me.
So we
with
can
this.
waive the plumbing permit?
Well, only if you don't need plumbing. The state rules apply to all plumbing and wastewater disposal, so.
We're asked for a waiver on the.
You can plumb it if you want. Not sure what you're gonna do.
Clarifying.
Good to see you.
That was a big help.
Thank you.
Yep,
For your help.
nice job.
Good work from the start.
I like that, like, how the hell do you block a 200 foot? And we only have a 35 foot, is it 35 in Durham?
It's either 32 or 35 feet is the
It's
max
35
height,
up
yeah.
What's your fire ladder? That's what, I live in
Well-
Hartsville, they dictate it by the fire ladder.
Yeah, we have a ladder.
And it probably only goes up to 32?
No, I think it's 80 feet.
No, it's a big one.
I think it's 80 feet.
But we haven't,
5?
We got the right guy here.
Yeah, they don't want anybody getting fried at the top of it while they're working.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
thank you. Okay, now,
Well, it was nice to meet you.
glad you're still awake.
Barely.
Just barely, I'm sorry. This had to be done.
What fun things do we have?
We have a few things that we were handed regarding to those. Would you like to step up and tell us what you are proposing to do?
I do.
Well,
It looks familiar.
that's, makes two of us. We don't,
Sorry.
we can't guess.
Well, I guess I'm applying for a permit to get some
Dan,
fill.
you have to sit up at the microphone so that people
Yeah.
can hear.
You need to sit up, yeah, you need to sit up on the.
I can do, you can do it.
I know I heard of it.
So all the paperwork that you have in front of you, I have no idea what you have.
This is all we got.
Yeah, but I see you have something about a Grover.
Yeah.
we got,
So I don't have that, so I have no idea what that's
Okay.
at.
Sorry about that, I meant to give that to you earlier.
Okay, so there's fill being taken from the bridge construction by a DOT contractor and placed on this property without any permits. Is that right?
Correct.
Yes.
So essentially, this is an after-the-fact permit.
Is there intent to restart and continue, or is the filling complete?
It's all done.
It's all done.
Yep, between Paul and DEP, they basically put the scares to him and he left.
So is there a NERPA permit being applied for?
Yep. That's the one from the state of Maine, right?
Yeah, have you applied for the,
He's sending me the stuff in the mail.
Jeff had said he hadn't received the application yet for a permit by rule to the DEP, so that's still outstanding.
I talked to him yesterday and he's supposed to mail it to me.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, from what I understand, it's just basically applying for a permit for more than 500 yards of fill. Must be including this, and I'm not sure about how this works for future use, because it's also, I had written in there for the Newell Brook address also. So I'm not really sure. This goes back to kind of what Tom was saying at the beginning. How long is this, if this is, like if I was to get roadside fill from the town.
I started thinking about exactly the same thing, because I remember the notice that went out asking if they wanted fill.
Yeah, I mean, if I was to get fill from the roads, that'd be like a summer-long permit. So Grover has already up and left, and the site is all been erosion controlled, it's all been sloped.
Well, it is now.
It is now, yes.
We didn't get 500 yards.
I can't I have no idea to determine how many yards. They had been trucking it in for a while. According to Grover, there was more than 500 yards brought to the site. I can't dispute, I don't know, I don't know what was there before it started. I came on site after the fact. So,
That
in
really
my
doesn't come in
mind,
this equation right now anyways.
what's that? Yeah, so,
Doesn't matter.
at this point, I was using the clause that the board should review this anyway.
Yeah.
Because it's my choice to send it to the board if I feel that I want a broader review. So according to the application here, he wants also to have some at 662 Newell Brook Road. And how much there?
We're not gonna get anything.
Oh, he won't take it to Newell Brook either?
Nope.
Okay.
He's
All right.
done.
Okay.
He's done. So now I'm gonna rely on getting fill from the town, from roadside ditching. if Calvin will do that.
Well, up to 500 yards
Right.
is my approval.
That's right.
Okay, up to 250 yards doesn't require any approval.
Right.
Other than you still have to, you still can't violate DEP rules
Right.
and stuff, but
Well,
you're free
and the whole
to.
issue with that is DEP's been there 1,000 times, probably nine times, because the neighbor's son worked for DEP, and every time we did anything, they called, and it had never been an issue, so why would we ever think it was an issue?
No, I understand that, but the one thing
So, it wasn't that we
in,
were trying to violate any rules, it was just, it had never been an issue, so.
all right, so let me fill in for this. The DOT, Glenn Philbrook, who's the DOT site supervisor here at the bridge, had made a visit over to the site. It was understood by Grover and by Mr. Tebow that the site he approved the site. Now, when I met with Glenn over there and Jeff from the DEP, Glenn said he didn't tell him to fill the ravine. So there's some hearsay going on here. I'm not exactly sure what has gone on. When Jeff and I met at the site and Dan had come, I think it was the first time we were there, Dan mentioned that there had been some residual disputes with a neighbor involving the DEP. When Jeff asked for documentation to verify that, Dan said he didn't have any documentation to verify that. Jeff said he was gonna look at see if there was anything in the files in the Portland office. So far, none of that has surfaced, so I'm not trying to deny it. We have nothing to verify it at this point. So the circumstance at the site is that the fill that was going into the ravine had encroached upon the National Resource Protection Act 75-foot buffer zone from a defined stream. He hadn't encroached on the 25-foot, only on the 75-foot. We caught it in time. Grover has gone over and stabilized the site. They pulled the slope back to reduce the degree of grade on the slope. They put down hay. They've done what they needed to mitigate that properly. So the site's stable. It's been properly mitigated. And that's where it all stands right now. Because Grover told me there was more than 500 yards taken in, I have no way of knowing because I never saw the site before it went in. I wanted to have these guys come before the board, get an after-the-fact permit, so everything's cool here. And they still need to comply with the DEP permit by rule. There has been no action, there has been no enforcement action taken by my officer, DEP, at this time. If the permit by rule is handled in a timely fashion, this issue will be done.
Well, can we go any further without the DEP permit by rule?
It needs to be, I would think that the only thing you should do would be put some condition on it as far as a timeline for submitting the application. I don't think it's reasonable to hold them responsible for how long it takes DEP to
But the
Permit by rule
administer it.
actually has a sundown once you make the application anyway,
Okay.
if I remember correctly.
What is that?
I believe basically there's a permit by rule timeline.
They have to respond
Once you-
in a certain time period.
Yeah, I off the top of my head, I don't know if it's 60, 90
I
days.
think it's
but-
60 days, but I can't remember.
Right. So there is a known timeline to that, at least once the application is submitted.
So we're gonna give you a permit for doing what you've already done. And that's it? That's all? You're not gonna do anymore? Is that what,
Oh,
well, I understand.
I would like to get some fill, but not to fill the ravine anymore, the gully. To bring the property up so I can use it for my cow pasture.
Mhm.
So is this the ravine
Is
that the
it-
stream runs through? I don't
It's,
understand.
there is a seasonal, I don't know, it's not it's a spring coming out of the bank. And it dries up in the summertime. That's what the whole deal was. It's running right now, and they found a snail in there and a little water bug.
There are 3 criteria that the DEP uses for stream
Wait a second, I'm
determination.
just trying to figure out what you want to do.
All I want to do
So
is,
there's a spring, and whether it's a stream or not,
right.
we don't know. But that's what you want to fill in?
No,
Well, the
not
DEP
anymore, no.
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 So what's the ravine that you're talking about filling in?
We're not.
We're not gonna fill it
anymore.
anymore.
We're just talking about later going to Calvin and
Getting some roadside
more
fill.
Under 500,
You're
you
right.
put in your field.
So there's a
Right.
different hole in your field.
There's no there's no
It's
hole
just
anymore.
lower.
It's
Just
just, I
lower.
want to bring the ground level up some.
Okay, I get it.
Okay.
That's all I want to do.
Okay, so we're talking about a different area on your property.
The same area,
Same area, but
not,
But
it's
she's-
not further
It's not
encroaching
you're
on
not
the ravine.
encroaching on the
It goes
ravine
like
any
this
further.
again.
It's So this, they,
So we just want it
they,
here, not down over
they
anymore.
fill the area in and it still slopes towards the ravine. They'd like to work it back and level it off some more at some point.
So what we're talking about tonight is just sanctioning whatever's taking place
No,
today.
they want more.
Well, see, that's why I
No, we're not
asked.
gonna get anything from Grover anymore.
No.
No, but you want fill from, like, I don't care where it comes from. I just care that it gets put on the property, where it
Right.
gets put on the property, how it gets put on.
That's
So it
right.
sounds like you want an after-the-fact permit for the fill activity that's already happened.
Right.
You want a going-forward permit for filling in the pasture, not in the ravine.
Right.
And you want a going-forward permit for additional fill at additional property, is that right?
Yes.
Got it.
So this further filling is gonna be more than 500 yards or less than 500, or?
I wouldn't think it'd be more than 500 yards. Depends on what Calvin can give me, if he's willing to give me any, if he's local.
So
I don't expect him to go from Quaker Mean House Road to my place when he can dump it closer.
Probably doesn't.
If he's in my area.
So correct me if I'm wrong, Ian, as far as coming before the board for fill, as an application, the application is supposed to define the scope of the fill that they need and what they're gonna do with it. Once they've completed that part, they've completed that part. Any further fill or any other operations they wanna do, if it's under 500 yards, falls either 250 is no oversight, 500 is code enforcement. If they want to do an additional or greater than 500 at any other spot, they would have to come forward with a defined conditional use, explaining what it is and how much they want to do. So at this point, as far as I see it, the prudent thing to do here would be to complete the after-the-fact permit for what has already been done and stabilized. And any additional fill that would come up in the future would have to fall either as no oversight or code enforcement and/or a new conditional use.
Right, but I think the problem is this looks like it wants to be an application for 1,000 more, or for two separate, this looks like it wants to be two separate applications. And that's what
Correct.
I'm struggling with.
I would
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah, because he's,
Because of the Newell Brook project.
That was written up on the intentions to get more fill from the bridge.
That was written up when this
Right,
first
just
happened.
the timing.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And the bridge is no longer. So I'd like to tell you that that's null and void, because now I'm gonna rely on Calvin. And-
Okay, but you still have to, if you're gonna rely on Calvin for more than 500 yards, you still have to come back to us.
Right,
So
that's
are you
right.
withdrawing this application?
That's up to Paul.
No, that's up to you.
Well-
This is your application.
Because
No,
he made,
I tried to withdraw it yesterday and he said no, we had to still come here, so it would be.
Well, you
It's
still
up
have
to
to come
Paul.
here for the after the
right,
fact permit.
but he,
So
because,
that's,
Okay.
but
that's right.
this talks about two new filling
Right.
activities. So right now I've got three issues to deal with. One, I've got the after the fact permit, which
That's
either,
what that was for.
well, but that's not what this says. So here, let me,
But it's
all
what
right,
it meant to
so,
say.
so one, we've got the after the fact permit, which if you don't come before us and you withdraw that application, he's gonna write you a notice of violation. So that's that application, you want to stay here. Then you've got an application for further filling, I don't care where you get it, but if you wanna do 500 more yards from
I don't
Calvin
even need
or
it then, yep.
anyone else,
Yep.
that's a second application, and then the third application is for the filling on 662 Newell Brook Road. So
I'm
you
just
wanna
saying that intent of that was for the after the fact.
I get that, but that's not what it says.
Yeah.
So do you want to withdraw the permits, the applications for the future filling?
Yeah.
Yes, for the
Good.
future, yes.
Do that.
Okay,
That's right.
so now we're just talking about the after the fact permit, right?
Correct.
That's right.
Got it.
right,
Sorry.
That's all right.
so,
That's all right. Don't worry about it.
We got it all now.
Yeah. Okay.
That was for the heat of the moment.
Well, I know, we had to do it quick because it was Monday. And it was
Right.
the Monday it had to be in, and it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and he scribbled out a paragraph, and we threw it in there so we could get it before the board.
Okay,
So, they withdrew this one, but the
after the fact permit.
still applies. We still need to satisfy that. And
And so all I have on the after the fact is this, right?
Yep.
That's all we have, yes.
Okay. I don't know what to do with this.
I would just, yeah, well, I didn't know what to do either, so I threw it.
Thanks.
I threw you guys under the bus. I'm
I
sorry.
knew that I did not want that provisioniness ordinance.
That's another thing that's gonna get crossed out. in red.
So
Yep.
is there a fee for the permit?
Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
of course.
Is there a fee for the
All right, what zone is
roadside
this
fill,
in?
but not if it's less than.
Yeah, if you have to come before the board, there will be a fee for every application that comes before the board. If you're just coming to me, there's no fee in the ordinance for under 500 or 500 yards. I just need to approve the site for it to make sure
We
that there's
don't have,
wetlands, streams, and various
we
other.
don't have much of an application. What are we gonna do with it?
So how many yards were dumped?
I have no idea.
I would think that Ben Grover
I can
knows.
tell you that they only hauled, they'd never hauled steady for any day. They hauled for a couple days here and there. So
We weren't home, but.
I have no idea. I don't believe
I
it
don't
was,
believe it's 500.
I bet around there. I can't say more and I can't say less, but they didn't haul a whole heck of a lot.
Well, they had a bulldozer.
So it doesn't
outside.
really matter at this time anyways, I don't think, because we're still gonna go try to get this permit and they're all done.
Well,
So we.
erosion control
It's
is,
all done.
is done.
Place.
It is.
It's been stabilized.
What zone?
Oh, rural
Rural residential?
residential, yeah.
You can go check it out, it's all done.
I-
Or we do that.
We do a sidewalk in.
Nope, not gonna do any sidewalks. We should take
That's
that
just
out. We just don't wanna do any sidewalks.
I'm fine with sidewalks, I'm just not fine with things coming back 3 times to the planning board. 3 meetings is at least 1 too.
Yep, yep.
To be honest with you, if you wanna, I ain't gonna say table it, you can worry about it later, cause we're all done anyways. You
Not gonna
know what I'm
help.
saying? Because if you're unsure what to do, it ain't like I'm waiting for
But I want
an
to be
approval.
first if you table it.
Yep.
So,
I guess,
But I'm not waiting for an approval to dump more, so.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Because one of the conditions is likely going to be the DEP permit we're waiting for anyway, right?
Well,
and what else?
and we don't have a butter notifications, like, we don't have any of that, right?
We have nothing.
But it doesn't, I guess I'm confused as to, that it would, I'm as confused as anybody when I look at this ordinance, and all it did, it says conditional use, but I don't understand how conditional use, our conditional use criteria would apply to this at all, other than just the water quality stuff.
Right.
Well, that would be it.
We can find that they're not applicable, but I think we still have to go through that exercise.
Well, now I know that, and I'll make sure that we do that in the future, but I was uncertain as to how to approach this one, because it didn't,
Well, you could NA most of it,
okay.
but, you know, water quality.
Water quality.
And it's gonna
Erosion
erosion
control-
is gonna
erosion.
be a big one.
All right, so do we wanna table this till next month and then go
Oh, yeah.
through the whole?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess,
Next month anyways.
And that would allow him to get his permit by rule application in, and,
so I guess,
Give us an
mean,
application.
rather than table it, I'm gonna find that the application's incomplete.
Yeah.
okay.
Cause I don't have any.
We withdrew it.
No, you withdrew
Oh,
the other
okay.
two, you didn't
Yeah,
withdraw
Yeah.
this one.
This is still an application.
But you didn't have any
We
application.
don't have that.
It's all right.
We have this.
Well,
We've got enough here to find it incomplete, and then we'll have to sit down and work through what it takes to make it complete for the next
Yeah,
meeting.
just come back next month.
I gotta come back
well, they
anyways.
could take the conditional use application, right?
I'm
And
not gonna do a site plan and all that.
So Ann, you found it's incomplete?
I move to find that it's incomplete.
no,
And who seconded it?
you're not gonna make us do a site walk, are you?
But I've been
Well,
through these
I guess
conditional
the
use
point I
permit
think that needs to be-
application processes before, and I just think it's ridiculous.
Well, that is ridiculous is
Hmm.
understandable, but that you comply is,
I'm all for complying, but I'm not gonna hire a surveyor and have all the site plan
Yeah,
and elevation and all that crap on it.
Well, and that's fine, you can request a waiver, but the fact that it took me 10 minutes to figure out what the hell was going on shows you why. No, I mean, this is your project, this is not his project. The fact that it took me 10 minutes to get out of you, all 3 of you, what was going on,
You don't
shows you
really
why
know
we
what's
need
going
a
on.
sketch. Well, you had Phil dumped at your property, you know that, you're in control of that. So draw me a stupid picture and ask us for a waiver that it has to be stamped by a surveyor. But we can't make a decision based on this. Because I have no idea what happened, or how it happened, or when it happened, or what this stupid stream is. So, if you don't wanna come back with an application, that's fine, that's your choice, but he's gonna write you a notice of violation. So, I mean, we don't wanna be unreasonable, but we need enough to know that you've complied with the ordinance. So that's your option.
That's fine, I'll do it. I just You know what I went through when we built our other building, and it was like 4 months out, and surveyors and all that crap, and this is just.
I would not
understand.
suspect this will be anywhere near as complicated.
No, I don't see this needing surveying.
Go through the,
Okay,
No, it's not.
it shouldn't be anywhere near as complicated.
So I moved to find it's incomplete. Mike has seconded it.
all those in favor?
Do you have
He doesn't have an application.
There's a
conditional use
There is a
application.
conditional
Yeah.
use application. I didn't have an application for Phil, but I do have a conditional use application.
Yeah,
We get to use.
most of it's not applicable, but there
Yeah.
are strong things that do need to be done.
And that's fine.
Can we,
So-
can one of you get together with me tomorrow? And I can go over with you what we need to do.
I can't know.
All right, well, sometime in the next week or so, and we can prepare for what, and go over with you, so help you understand what we
Yeah.
need to prepare for it. All right, and we'll get it taken care of. All right?
your hours on your business card?
I don't know if they are, but they're on the website, they're on the
Website.
doors.
10:30 tomorrow.
Only on Thursdays, and it's 8:30 to 4:30, Monday, Tuesday, Friday.
So we could.
6:30 tomorrow, yes, you could come in
So
tomorrow.
I work till 5.
I'll go check my appointment calendar.
Oh,
Give me
I
a,
can't.
give me a ring in the day.
I'll call you, 'cause I have an appointment at 5.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
What's up on the agenda?
Minutes?
Minutes?
Man, I put everything away. Did you see me do that?
I was doing the same thing, and then I said, hey, wait a minute.
You can get it then, because it'd probably be easier if we just go over it together, and then we're all on the same page with what you guys need. Oh, yeah, buddy. Good friends. Piss me off, he's gonna be in violation.
We need to approve our April 4th. Thank you. Thank you. Well,
Sorry.
that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to come across the table.
Hey, if you ever
I'm
need
sorry.
the big mouthy Italian, it's here for you.
If anybody moves, I'll kill him. So she can say whatever she wants. I'm being recorded, aren't I?
You are. I was gonna mention that, but that's.
Alright, so, I will move
Meetings.
approval of the minutes. Is that what we're on now?
Yes, we are.
I
Please,
second
sorry.
that.
Alright.
All those in favor? All those in favor of getting done here?
Wait, didn't we have some, one of these? What was on the agenda? Where's my
Yeah,
agenda?
I'm trying to get
I
out of
lost it
here.
now.
Find my.
Trying to flip through all this stuff. It just isn't
We did the public hearing, right?
No, we didn't. Nope.
God.
Discussion dates to continue with ordinance review and recommendations for next year's revisions to ordinances. Wow, that's a big one.
Right.
We need to
Wanna
start
table
we
that
need
for
to
next
start the
month?
group going again.
Yeah.
How, I think a bigger conversation, and maybe not tonight at 9:30
Table
at
it?
night,
Yeah.
is who?
Yeah, because we really need to straighten some stuff out in this. So,
Yeah,
So we'll table it to next month?
we
is
need
that
a
what you're
clearer
saying?
waiver. We need a clearer way to waive.
there's,
I know we argued about it, so I
We talked about it, it just didn't get,
did.
well,
didn't get fixed.
Alright, I move to adjourn.
All those in favor?
okay, we're done.